tryna solve them with? Who don't really like the sound of this? Who come with me getting down to this? You better step back, get your neck cracked, get laid down where you best step. Better check that with a fresh map, get lost now with no extract. Like look, that's all me, got my number, don't call me. We eating up, that's all beef, you freezing up, that's y'all's team. Cause we don't really lose no more, all about heating up, leaving that cold. You can see beating up, killing that show. I ain't about giving up, no. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you never gonna stop me. Ayy, sound the alarm. We about to go on. You getting it wrong. Time to go off. Can't hold us back. Truth hurts, you owe us that. My truth lurks till y'all collapse. Now scoop first where your homies at. Cause my team with me right now. My team so mean right now. But what you mean y'all out? It's time to weed y'all out. Okay, we coming back with a vengeance. Time to go start your engines. What is this thing y'all mention? Time for y'all stop pretending, Nah, y'all can't do that. Where your crew at? Y'all can't do that. Nah, where your crew at? Love, man, cause now you alone. Yeah, get out of my zone. Man, cause now you alone. Love, get out of my zone. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me.
Shine with the glow. This is my time with it though. This is my time to be way at the top. Me and my guys gon' pay out the block. I don't look like walls. Time's right, and I know they see us walking in a limelight. Promise you gon' wanna watch like a sci-fi. My guys are high rises, high tide. My crown if you come to my side. I pledge allegiance for lifetime. My squad connected like Wi-Fi. We grind and you see the highlights. This my life. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me, then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way, yeah, yeah, out of the way, yeah, yeah, out of the way. Game now, me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way, you wasn't invited. Say you come to play, I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me, then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way, yeah, yeah, out of the way, yeah, yeah, out of the way. Player on top, know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fly through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look. You won't stop my stride. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. Take us down, keep fighting.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series here. Wow, it's been quite a while and a lot has actually happened between here and then. If you guys are joining us here from last week, we do want to first apologize for the fact that we didn't follow up on Sunday itself because unfortunately there was a typhoon that happened in the Philippines.
Yeah, and of course we'll be able to actually get the games running for this week and onward, so all hopes and prayers to those who are affected in the Philippines. But of course, we'll be getting the show running from here on, so we've definitely confirmed that all players should be a-okay for now.
Yeah, definitely. So in any case, my name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Contra. We're here to bring you guys a conclusion of last week's matches here. Final day it was supposed to be for today. So we'll see how things will turn out. But nevertheless, though, this is going to be an exciting one because, again, conclusions, a lot of threads have been left hanging since last week, and finally we're going to be able to see how it all culminates in today's event.
That's right, and overall we've been able to catch quite a glimpse of brilliance coming in from many of all these teams who have managed to secure multiple booyahs in their groups. So let's run it back a little bit to see how the format is like for the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire. So the ones who walk away with a booyah walk away with 12 points in total. Second place will be on 9 points, and you see the numbers deplete by 1 in every single position until the 10th place. 11 to 12, they walk away with no points whatsoever. Therefore, every single kill that they manage to accumulate will matter in the standings.
Exactly, and we see many of these teams, fight a lot for those kill points in particular because, the game of Free Fire really calls for that level of aggression, in order to stay up high in the leaderboard. This is a schedule we're going to be running with for today, starting off with our Group A versus Group D matches. We're going to be on Purgatory and Alpine here, so it's the second set of maps we're going to be playing here today. After the Group A and D match, then we'll be moving on to the Group A and C match, and after that, will be Groups B and D to close out the day.
There's going to be a lot of action coming in from Group A, so I hope that they are absolutely prepared for this. And we've already seen so many of all these teams that are currently belonging in Group A to be in quite a safe position. Some of them are even on the pole position, I would say. So we'll definitely have to take a look by the end of the day. How much could that possibly change when all the groups are played out?
Exactly, and we're looking at how the progression of some of these teams are still very, very competitive. Even on that first page of the leaderboard there, we're seeing teams that are separated by less than 10 points, between themselves and the team just ahead of them. So there's going to be a lot of sparks flying when they land on the map. So here are the groups that are going to be, the teams that are going to be playing in Group D and A. Starting off in Group D here, we got No Escape RV, Team Juke, ORV X-Men, Freedom Rumble, NC, and ORV Tyrants. And meantime, on Group A, we have AV Radicals, Farang, Revenge, Axis Esports, Geek Fam, and Pando EWG.
And we've already seen some of these teams that have been able to close off games really well, just like how we've already seen NC, who have managed to also get themselves into a very consistent performance. But you got to keep your eyes on some of these names in Group A, like AV Radicals, Farang, and Axis Esports, because they are currently climbing up and up. Let's see whether or not can they find their momentum here on a brand new week. And these are also some of the other teams that we should also keep an eye on.
Yeah, we talk about AV Radicals and Farang. I mean, there are two of the teams that really stand a chance right now to climb back up and perhaps compete with the top 3 in the leaderboard right now. And they've certainly been on that climb all throughout last week's matches. And certainly speaks a lot to their consistency as well as their level of skill to be able to get up that high. But then when you talk about another team that we have here featured, which is Team Juke, they had a slightly different strategy compared to everyone else. Instead of being aggressive and going for those kill points or doing hot drops and stuff like that, they try to use a strategy that put a more bigger emphasis on placement points. Now, it was still a good effort from them because they managed to net themselves 2 booyahs, which is the most out of Group D. Unfortunately for them, though, because they neglected to really put a lot more points into the kills, they're still stuck in that second page.
Yeah, I hope that they'll be able to find a solution to this. Maybe they just have to find ways across the map, look back at some of all these VODs to identify where's the best area to get these numbers back. But of course, speaking of numbers, we got Auto Knockout, who is still over on the top, sitting with 2 booyahs and currently with the highest amount of kills possible, 97. I think by today we'll be able to see them break into the triple-digit kill figure with a total of 159 points. Expand has been chasing up against them, and we also do have Tactical Intex. 3 of these names are currently not going to be performing in the first 2 games in particular, or maybe on the second game onwards. But AV Radicals, I think this is a great time for them to be able to put those points all the way up to maybe catch up against Expat.
And that's what we want to see, and especially like I want to also see the teams that are on the second page. They're hard to get. Illustrados, Huecos, Rebellion Squad, KTP. Like these guys, you know, they're no slouches actually when it comes to their gameplay. It's just that they haven't really been able to translate that into proper points, you know, for the leaderboard here. So again, for some of these squads in the second page there, I really want to see them be able to actually catch up and make themselves, get themselves into that first page, because remember, it's the top 12 after this group stage that will proceed to the regionals. So that 12th spot is going to be the most confident spot out of all of the spots here.
That's right. With 4 games to be played out by Group A, there's a lot of points they could possibly accumulate before we kicks off our weekend run itself. But hey, today's a great Friday, and I'm feeling really good about this. And we have a lot of top-tier teams here who are gunning to get into the challenge stages. So I think, like, overall, we've already seen that they have all that sort of potential, including Team Juke, which may not have really found themselves those high kill volumes. I think it doesn't really matter. If they can close out more games with those booyahs, I think they'll be getting there.
Maybe so. I mean, but then what I do see over the last week's matches is that, you know, when you don't have the aggression, when you're not really that proactive, you tend to kind of leave a lot of points on the table. So, in my opinion, I think Team Juke in particular, they do show potential to be one of the top teams. It's just that I think they need to, like you said, you know, identify what's kind of the weaknesses going on right now. But I think more importantly, I hope that the time that we had in between, you know, the matches last week to now, that they've already you know, decided to make a change up on the game plan here, because I think it's going to be crucial right now. Because like I said, in spite of getting 2 booyahs during last week, they still aren't able to get themselves in that first page, and they definitely need to be they need to get more kill points, essentially, you know, in order to get there.
I kind of have an idea how they could basically achieve that. If you really want to look for those numbers, go to the ski lodge, and I think like there's about 3 teams over on that corner. So perhaps that's one way to go, and I think it's essential for teams to be engaging very early on, especially now with more of all these mechanics that you could revive all these fallen teammates. So it doesn't really matter if you were to lose maybe 1 or 2, and later on you could basically find certain checkpoints where you could basically resuscitate them, bring them back into the game, and after that, basically nail that booyah heading into the late game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really Team Juke has going for them right now is the fact that, you know, placement points wise, they're actually kind of up there when you compare the placement points for the teams in that first page. So really, as long as they are able to get additional kills a day, even if they don't get the booyahs, I think that's still going to be enough, because like I said, they already have 2 booyahs. They don't necessarily have to look for more.
Exactly. So with that being said, I think like there's also all the other teams who are currently not in that best of position to be getting into, say, a top 10, but you just really want to squeeze into, you know, a top 12 or so that you can make the cut for the challenge stage. So I do believe that there's still plenty of all these opportunities out there, even for teams like No Escape, where they have done quite some outstanding records when it comes down to going on a rampage, getting high eliminations, but they don't seem to always get into the final few stages of the game. I think that's also a cause for concern, how they really want to manage their aggression overall. These are some of the things that we hope to see adjustments of from the teams that may not have gotten themselves the perfect record just yet.
Yeah, so again, I think, yeah, good point actually about not RV, because if you compare them with Team Juke, you know, they actually have 1 extra point ahead of Team Juke when it comes to placement points there. And I think that what really set them apart, even though they weren't really fighting too much, rather they weren't able to get themselves into the final circle that many times during last week's matches, in spite of that, they still managed to net a total of 35 kills. So it just goes to show that, you know, Team Juke's kind of approach may definitely, while it is a sound strategy, you know, to focus on what is strong for your team itself, but, you know, just by applying themselves a little bit more, getting themselves into better fights there, you know, and just collecting more kill points, that's exactly what they need. Because as long as they are able to do that, you know, with the placement points they already have, they can easily get themselves into that first page.
Exactly that. And of course, it's about time that you guys make your predictions down on the Twitch chat right down below. And of course, if you guys haven't done so already, Cast your vote right now in the Snapdragon match prediction. So, who's it gonna be, Victor? I mean, like, we've already seen that there's a lot of potential when it comes down to these two respective groups. I'm still thinking it could potentially be a Group A winner for our first match.
I mean, Group A is a very, very stacked group, right? So it's no surprise that we are thinking that they were going to be having a shot here. But, you know, when you talk about AB Radicals of Farang, you know, currently, you know, having the best opportunity here to try to catch up to Auto Knockout, expand the title index. The thing is that they are still lacking at this point is that booyah. So I'm expecting that either one of these teams will be aiming to get that booyah here in one of these matches.
Exactly that, as we have already had the flight path all set. Most of these teams will not be in an early altercation, but look at the central area across Brasilia. There's going to be a little bit more shots being fired from the side of Axis Esports across the campsite. Exact is going to be hunting out for his target, and this could very well be our first blood.
Oh boy, Error 7 is already caught out. But then Zach misses his shots completely. Luckily, he was able to catch Error 7 by the time he got out at 10, but that could have been really, really bad never Exact, because literally he was standing right in front of him. I'm just surprised that he couldn't get his shots on point there.
And then he only had 19 HP. Like, it could easily be clutched out in those situations, but the NC also does find another pickoff on the outskirts, and I'm not too sure what ORV is doing outside in the open areas, because like there's not much loot to begin with, and I guess he was just doing a little bit of scouting duty that gives Asa a little bit of a head start for the rest of NC. Meanwhile, Farang as well as ORV Tyrants, they're about to lock horns as well. Let's see what they do. They really have heading into this early battle, and what I really do like is that in this early phase of the game, we're already getting somewhat of a neutral circle that's surrounding the areas of fields as well as Brasilia, so there's ample spacing to play with.
Exactly, and you can see the other ORV teams, Jabat actually is at the revive station, so his teammate is actually going to be sacrificing himself for the greater good here by luring the rest of NC to chase him down, and that actually gives Jabat the space now to revive the rest of his team. So he's now going to wait to see how this turns out. Jens, unfortunately, I don't think he actually managed to gain any elimination points in that battle there. NC pretty much cleaned house very, very effectively here. So NC right now looking like they're on a roll here.
Yeah, exactly how I would basically predict how they will play their early game overall, and see they've shown a strength in numbers when it comes down to how they've been able to rotate around the map, get those early kills for the team. So I just really want to see, now that they do have a little bit more advantage with the circle in their favor, how do they play this out entirely? Meanwhile, it's been a little bit of a lockdown situation for the rest of ORV. Farang has been firing shots much early on, but have stayed silent for most part. Across the trailer parts of Crossroads, it doesn't seem like they do have much of these angles to work with, but Jemble, he's already getting tagged up!
Yeah, caught out on the outside there, and now Jezabu is unfortunately a little bit too far away to help him out. Jemble is going to be able to use a bit of tree for cover, but Seiya pretty much has him locked up there. So now the question for ORV is that will they want to try to respond to this here, or just allow ORV to continue to gatekeep them like that? Because it was Jemble who was trying to find a flank there in order to get himself in the safe zone, and unfortunately Jezabu tries to get some shots down the range there. Think that that does get the knockdown done there. But Farang right now scrambling, trying to figure out how exactly you want to figure this out here. They will be able to bring Jemble back in, but ORVs can still continue to gatekeep them a little bit, having this revive point right here, which is kind of crucial for them, because they need to try to bring a lot more pressure to Farang's side, but it looks like they're going to be moving out of that position right now. Instead, they're going to try to gatekeep maybe the bridge area. The thing is, a safe zone. It's just literally right next to it, so I think they're going to try to find maybe some better loot on the other side of this river.
Yeah, they do have ample time to do so, and the last we saw, there was also NC around the facilities of where Farang used to be. Now, Team Juke has been playing across the riverside for many a times now. Damon finds himself a target. Nice, and he does connect onto line one, but he's healing out in the middle of the open. Thankfully, that's good enough an angle, especially with those glue walls being utilized very early on.
Yeah, I think Y1 was certainly thinking about whether or not he wants to try to use the zip line to get across, but with Juke already set up by that pier, I think anyone who tries to make that move right now is liable to get shot at and turn to Swiss cheese very, very quickly. So maybe Radical's going to have to play this smartly, because at this point right now, Jukes is definitely gatekeeping them from being able to get into the safe zone. Y1 taking a bit of shot, now he's going to try to return fire.
Whoa.
Quite a bit of damage done though. The range for Juke, because they do have a couple of sniper rifles in their hands there, that's allowing them to actually have a bit of an advantage in this standoff.
Yeah, overall, this is quite the tough situation for Team Juke to be staying around with, but they've been able to manage themselves fine with some great long-range shots being fired up. Now, Swan, he's just cutting across the river, and Jemble is about to sniff him out real quickly, though. Just right on top, and Jemble gets caught out!
Talk about being baited and jebaited. Jemble gets taken out very, very quickly there, and unfortunately, Jezebel does only come around, and now he's going to be under fire with Ramel 1 getting knocked down as well. This is working out so well for AB Radicals, because now they have potential to get yet another kill point here. How is Farn going to get themselves out of this mess?
Man, that is a little bit scuffy to me, the way that they've been running out in the open, and it seems like Army 1 and the rest of AV have been able to punish Farang for their maneuvers across the map. Now we're going to be moving over to Geek Fam, as they managed to already find one in the form of Apis, but he's not going to be able to get too much over on the southern side. But at the very least, Geek Fam, they could basically play here for a really long time. But if they were to reminisce of what has happened in the past, they should really cut across quickly, and thankfully FRU did manage to land that shot, and they remain to be safe.
Trying to get revenge there was FRU, but the thing is that Geek Fam, that's pretty much an open invitation I think they're taking here to start to be aggressive against FRU, because look at them, they've gathered up, they have, a danger zone literally just lands on top of them. Geek Fam needs to find cover quickly though, otherwise they're going to be in deep, deep trouble, and this works out well from FRU, because now they can just peel away and not take any damage.
Well, I guess the good news is, if they do survive the danger zone, right, just take a good look at campsite. It's absolutely open up, like they don't have any troubles lying up ahead of them over on that southern corner of the map. Meanwhile, NC, they're about to be rushed upon by Axis Esports.
Yep, Neptune trying to lead the charge here. The glue wall's already set up here, so there's some cover on the top of the hill, but it's going to be a massive, massive climb, because NC is already set up and already starting to bring troubles to the table here. Asa's trying to fight in the front here, putting up glue walls here to try to stop Axis in the tracks. Sends out a trouble that does a bit of damage there, and it's going to get worse for them if they stay in that area longer, so that's forcing them to get off the hill so NC can keep the high ground. But Flame 7 tries to go for a flank around the left-hand side, doesn't quite get the knockdown. Instead, it's going to be 6-6's Rav that gets knocked down instead, with Asta continuing to bring the onslaught onto Axis. Oh, this is really bad right now for Axis. They are losing 2 members right now. Exact is going to be caught out in the middle there, and now NC solidifies their position right now as the kill leaders on the map.
Man, they make it look like a walk in the park. Did you just see Asa running through like he's Lionel Messi? Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just something else overall, but we're going to be looking at another uphill climb for the rest of RV, though, taking on Team Juke, which is trying to secure this area advantage. But Damon, he's about to sniff them all out, but he doesn't check the back, though.
Oh boy, the Trollables also well, just forcing them to be very hyper aware about this situation here. But for the meantime, Shami is just holding position by that corner, just praying that no one snips him out at all, and just let them fight it out on the outside. Oh, and unfortunately, he gets caught here by Cienz, and that's going to be a free and easy kill for him. But then they're not quite out. Oh, are they quite out just yet? Yeah, they do. They managed to eliminate other members of Jukes at the same time, so only one member seems to be on the minimap right now. So the assault didn't quite work out well for Jukes.
Not at all, and the random member of FRU didn't even manage to react, even though he had a couple of seconds to basically play around, but I guess he didn't want to compromise his own position overall. But hey, there's only so little room inside that shack. Now we're going to be moving over to Brasilia, where the rest of Frey's is just going to be hunting out. Shots being fired, but he's going to be able to duke it all out. The wall's already set up, but how much can this shotgun do? Apparently just about enough to secure Fraze's double kill.
Yeah, once the second member showed up, I knew that he was just going to be done for there. So, a bit unfortunate there for Jukes. It was an assault they started, and it seems like they weren't able to complete it out. And meanwhile, it's talking about starting assaults here. Revenge trying to get one here on the Geek Fam as they storm the front on these cabin side here. But I think Revenge already lost one, or rather have one person drop down at the moment. Geek Fam has Hakimi on the ground as well. Now they're trying to stabilize the situation. That's a good trouble right now. A lot of damage done there. But conversely, Revenge getting the knockdowns on the other members of Geek Fam at a distance right now, and things are looking very desperate here for Geek Fam because only one member still remains, and he gets taken down. Yasta getting shot out by the Barrett 50 cal seals the fate of Geek Fam, so they're the next team to fall.
My goodness gracious, like, Geek Fam couldn't even afford to take a break. We thought that the south side is going to be absolutely cleared out for them, but they immediately walked into another trap, and they didn't really have time of the essence, especially when the zone is already closing in, and it's going to further close into the southern side of Moat House, and many of these teams, especially NC, they've already taken control over the spine of that hill. So whoever's going to be late to the scene, they're about to take the short end of the stick. But speaking of which, Twos have managed to find even more members inside of Farang, and that should be able to close out majority of those members. 9 more teams to remain. Oh, that's an iffy wall. I don't think it gives much of a cover, though.
Definitely iffy, that's for sure. But the problem for EWG right now is that FRU is moving in behind them at the same time, so they're going to be finding themselves in a bit of a crossfire situation. As now they're going to be experiencing a lot of pain here as Rinven gets knocked down by FRU. Now they're trying to find Monito, who now is aware that he's being assaulted from behind, but instead he gets knocked down as well. This is looking bad for EWG. They thought they would have the jump there on the other team, but it's going to be the backdoor that they were just weren't watching out for.
My goodness, the way that they've been able to basically fight this one out. FRU gets this one in the bag, and there's just so little bit more room for them to basically squeeze through. They've already made so many noises, so I do think that there's going to be a lot more crosshairs being pointed at them. EWG now relying only on Manchai, who have been able to clutch situations all alone, but this time without much of a revive pointer around him. I don't think there's much for him to do.
Well, the best bet right now is just go for the placement points, because you're already seeing so many teams still having full strength right now, so it's going to be literally suicide for them to try to go up in front and try to fight it out that way. But nevertheless, though, Danny's is going to go ahead, go up in front. The opponent's still holding the front here, trying to gatekeep the rest of FRU. At the moment, though, Kai is just trying to get up alongside while the safe zone closes in around them, and with that done, so Freedom Rumble, despite the fact that they had initiative, it was still the gatekeep setup that Revenge managed to pull off here that worked out perfectly for them. So in any case, right now, into the safe zone here, we got 8 teams still remaining. NC is right in the middle here, trying to gatekeep ORV. AV Radicals in the meantime spots another ORV team here, and is just sending fire from a distance, trying to keep them getting to the next safe zone, which is literally coming up right against that back. So the teams that came to the circle very early on are now going on gatekeep duty here, trying to prevent the other teams from getting anywhere close to that safe zone. Now it looks like the other ORV team, ORV X-Men, are locked in the battle right now with Revenge, and they do have a bit of a high ground situation here they can take advantage of. Jazzy GG does have a sniper rifle and is using that to keep other members of Revenge completely suppressed, and is maneuvering around just to try to prevent any shots from coming his way, and so far has been quite successful in that regard because there's almost no damage done onto him here. Farang in the meantime just got themselves taken out there, so there will be P8 for them on this map right now. Jazzy GG continuing that shot, does get the shot onto Era 7 with the knockdown, and now, oh boy, now ORV X-Men coming into the mix.
Jazly with an amazing triple right there. ORV now gets themselves a fighting chance for the Booyah with only 6 more teams remaining. But NC, they continue on that rampage, and they will be the one that takes over control. Yes, it now finds a little bit more room, but NC, they just got this whole area of coverage all wrapped around.
Yep, they have this pretty good setup here. NC having a high ground situation here, are just keeping Manchai stuck outside on the blue zone. This is going to be bad for him because, again, he has no backup whatsoever. He's going to have to figure out a way to get through this onslaught, and with NC having the high ground is really, really tough. Now, 2-1, AV Radicals trying to fight it out inside the room here. I think it's ORV Tyrants right now, just trying to keep them contained within this area, but then now they will be able to take out Seiya, the last remaining member of ORV Tyrants. Now, 5 teams remain.
And it seems like the rest of NC have been able to get all the information that's necessary. Manchai has so little health, and that's all going to be it. It's a quad coming in from Asta. Now, the only thing left standing in the way is ORV. They are pushing through.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think AV Radicals continuing the aggression here, goes ahead and takes out Jimquez and Fraze to take out RV. No escape. No escape for them whatsoever. But unfortunately, they're going to have to escape to the lobby here because they're the fourth team, the fourth highest team, highest finish to manage to get in this map right now.
And here goes ORV, still standing toe-to-toe against the rest of AV Radicals as they are trying to find a way to cut through. And NC lighting away to be able to find the damage. One goes down, and there's only so little glue walls to protect them for now.
Oh, AV Radicals a bit spread out, and unfortunately this is perfect for NC because now they can divide and conquer, taking out AV Radicals. No booyah for them this time around. It's going to be between ORV, X-Men, and NC right now, but NC, they've been warmed up with all these kill points they've been getting so far. They could even afford to lose booyah, but still, ORV is going to use this little lull here to try to charge onto their positions. Glue walls coming out right now to try to keep them up, but NC loses one, maybe lose two, they lose three, and ORV X-Men gets the booyah.
It's ORV here that managed to outlast the rest of the teams remaining. And NC, though they stole all the spotlight, they ran out of gas by the finish line. Congratulations to ORV X-Men.
Oh, Jussie GG certainly deserves MVP in that round there. I mean, he made full use of that sniper rifle, gatekeeping so many members getting into that final circle there. And boy, oh boy, right now they can certainly be proud of this because that's finally a booyah they can get on the map.
And that's a whole lot of points being accumulated overall. And, well, we see the joys on their face as they're definitely here on our screen celebrating all their successes after some tough weeks ahead. So definitely we'll love to hear it from the team.
Oh man, what a way to open things up. I mean, I was almost hoping the AV Radicals would just kind of hold back a little bit, but ORV didn't give them chances whatsoever.
Not at all.
They just saw that they were already kind of like lulling a little bit, you know, kind of like stepping the foot off the gas, and realized, yep, now is going to be the time to pounce right on them and take them out.
And that's basically a smart maneuver being played out by the rest of ORV overall, where we have seen them being able to control the lower side of that hill, and they only took quite a while before they start to strike back. They were handling some of their own fights, dealing with some members of the side of AV, and eventually AV was shoved to the other side where they need to deal with the rest of NC. And I think by the end, all these glue walls have already been utilized, expended, and I felt like the cooldowns weren't enough for the rest of NC to be able to last that fight. And you even saw some of them have slided on the lower side of the hill that didn't really give them that sort of advantage to basically push upwards towards the side of ORV.
Yeah, and the thing was that, you know, NC at that point in time, I think they were kind of having a very advantageous position, but you know, this is where RNG kind of comes into the mix there, because the next circle after that kind of forced them to move out of that position and puts them into the line of fire of AV Radicals, and this is where AV Radicals really took that advantage to finally stop NC in their tracks. But you know, the whole time ORV X-Men were just waiting to see how this battle was going to turn out, and then once they saw that NC was the victor of that, they realized, yep, let's go ahead, let's jump in and let's go ahead and overwhelm them. We have the man advantage, we have the capability, and they just went ahead and took it. So that is still going to be ORV X-Men takes booyah, though NC does occupy the top spot right now, having 13 kills, tying up with AV Radicals, but it's the placement points that was very crucial for them for maintaining the top spot.
Exactly that, and overall, ORV X-Men, they have managed to close out the game, and they've managed to secure, at the very least, 8 elimination points, and that stacks up to a perfect 20, while the rest of the teams out here may have actually had a little bit more of a struggle. Especially for Team Juke, they didn't manage to receive any points whatsoever, being surrounded, and the way that Farm might have actually went out, and at the very least, they farmed themselves a few numbers to begin with. So it definitely was a little bit more worrisome for the team that is currently trying to look for opportunities to chase up to teams like Expand. They really have to do so in the next upcoming 3 games if they really want to stand a chance.
on the side note as well, very disappointing route here actually for Farang, because I was actually expecting them to be able to make it to that final circle, but I think the aggression from some of these other teams, particularly NC, has kind of made their path a lot harder than it needed to. NC, to their credit though, 7 headshots, 7,447 damage points there. Still a very respectable score, certainly not the highest, but definitely putting themselves up there. But I think more important for them is the fact that they managed to farm so much kill points in this round here that's going to keep them very competitive on the overall leaderboard.
Exactly that, and I think for most part we have seen Asta to be the shining star of the team, and he's been leading the charge, bringing those shotgun shells up close and personal, especially with those sort of fights where we saw over on the course of Battle of the Hill, where he doesn't really care. Like, it doesn't matter if you put 10 more glue walls in front of him, he just zigzags his way through and somehow finds a way to land those killing blows. But I think like ORV were a little bit too much for them, especially when they've been a little bit more worn out. So NC yet again came close to that booyah, but did manage to secure it at the very end, but have secured the most points possible in this matchup.
And I think this situation really highlights, the difficulty really to not only to get the booyah, but to also just simultaneously be the top killing team in the group there. Because oftentimes you have a situation like this, we have two really strong teams like AB Radicals and NC just collecting kill points all over the map, only to kind of encounter each other in that final circle there. So in either way, they're going to be more focused about that other team instead of focusing on ORV X-Men, and that actually worked out well for ORV. Because again, not a lot of attention placed on them in that final circle there, and they could just hold back, wait for those other two teams to just fight it out, and then we'll deal with the survivors. So that's a kind of a more nuanced, I think, a strategy when it comes to taking placement points. It's like when you know that you have two teams there in this final circle that are way stronger than you, that really thrive in that chaos of blue walls and maneuvering. It's going to be literally suicide to try to face them head to head, right?
Just third party into it, like it makes things so much easier, right?
Exactly. So maybe that's the kind of strategy that Team Jukes needs to do. But again, it can also be hard when you, as a squad, if you're not able to thrive in that chaos there, then it becomes like a rock and a hard place for them. You're not able to do this, you're not able to do that. What can you do?
Exactly. And of course, speaking of which, let's head over to our interview with our match winners. So we'll be right back.
Hanya permulaan dan ORV X-Men nak dapatkan slot 12 sebentar lagi, dan agaknya apa strategi dia?
Baru dapat corak permainan. Mungkin lebih baik dari ini.
I see. Jadi untuk pertarungan yang seterusnya, agaknya apa yang pasukan ORV X-Men perlu perbaiki berbanding dengan apa yang dah dilakukan?
Mungkin akan lebih baiklah dari yang sebelum-sebelumnya, dari yang hari yang sebelumnya.
Nak tanya, Jebat ni orang mana?
Orang Sabah.
Orang Sabah. Sabah area mana tu? Sabah area mana?
Sabah area Kunak.
Oh.
Area Kunak.
Haji pernah pergi Sabah?
Tak pernah sampai lagi. Tapi memang niat nak pergi lah Sabah. So harap Jebat boleh layan Haji nanti lah. Kalau Haji sampai dekat Sabah.
Haji, apa nak tanya Jebat?
Nak tanya, macam sekarang ni ORV dekat bawah sekarang kan. So Jebat yakin tak dengan baki perlawanan yang ada ni untuk meletakkan ORV X-Men dekat top 12?
InsyaAllah yakin.
Itu yang kita mahu dengar daripada Jebat.
Betul.
Tapi soalan terakhir saya lah, kenapa Jebat? Kenapa namanya Jebat?
Tak tahu lah.
Tak tahu So dia mungkin sebab dia halatuah ni dah biasa sangat Jebat tu lah. Jadi mungkin ada kata-kata akhir untuk Jebat kepada semua peminat dan juga penyokong untuk pasukan Honor Revol X-Men.
Jangan lupa terus support ORV lah.
Itu je?
Kita orang akan buat.
Dia orang akan buat yang terbaik. Baik gitu. Jadi saya ucapkan terima kasih Jebat dan semoga berjaya untuk perlawanan seterusnya. Malu orangnya.
definitely seems to be a very soft-spoken guy, but I also do love the fact that we're seeing some East Malaysian representation in this competition here. I didn't know that he was from Sabah, and of all places from Kunak. It's like a very rare place, to be highlighted when it comes to East Malaysia itself. So glad to see him, representing Sabah in this competition here. But I do have to say though, despite the fact that ORV X-Men, managed to pull this booyah off, it's still going to be quite an uphill climb for them because as it stands right now, they're literally at the bottom of the list. So,
yeah, and it probably will take a few more booyahs for him to get by. Hopefully there's enough games for him to play out. But of course, with that being said, we'll definitely see what can they do up next. But for now, of course, we'd like to thank all of the people that have been able to make all of this possible. With that being said, of course, we give our thanks to Snapdragon Elite Gaming, where you guys have been all around watching all these great booyahs. This is where when winning matters, and Snapdragon is always there with you on your mobile games.
Yeah, and also don't forget our other sponsor, which is Monster Energy. Unleash the beast over at their website, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, if you're running low on credits or in-game currencies, why don't you go ahead and make a reload through Kachi Shop? Because on their shop, you get not only great deals, but great discounts on those reloads itself, so you get plenty of bang for your buck. Check them out at kachishop.com/my. So with that said and done, that's already Purgatory finished now for groups A and D. Now it's going to be the next one. It's going to be on Alpine, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful sight indeed here as we await them to go ahead and get set up for that. We're over here going to be taking a short break, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you guys don't go away, because when we come back, we bring you more action here at the Snapdragon Pro Series here, so stick around. We'll be right back.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Check.
Husky's back from TI already. Then there's also Sir Cloud. I don't know if he's up to anything, but no, Sir Cloud does not want to take free fire because he is doing. So because it has been established already that.
To get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win.
Welcome back once again to the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Edition, where we're seeing some of the best and finest of Southeast Asia contend here in the Open Finals itself, where we're looking for the top 12 teams to be moving on to our challenge stage.
Yeah, exactly, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Contra. We're going to be bringing you guys Alpine this time for groups A and D, and with ORV X-Men, picking up the booyah in that last round. Certainly a mortal victory for them. Still going to be a long climb for them though in the rest of the series. So let's hope they're going to be able to keep this up here, because if they get the second booyah in a row, that means they definitely have learned a lot, in the break between last week to now.
Exactly, and overall, I think we've seen so many great improvements from our very first game itself, but Alpine have always been a little bit more of an oddball for everybody out there, and we haven't really seen repeated winners in this map itself. And speaking of which, we've seen areas over on northeast western side to be some of the hottest areas of play. So let's keep ourselves up to speed, as we already have the scoreboards all updated. And so let's see, where does NC place this time around? They've scored the highest of points, and now they have still remain on the top 5, but they're inching closer to tactical index.
Yeah, definitely. But remember, Tactical Index isn't playing in this group right now, so that means that NC will have even more opportunities to climb. But AV Radicals, that last round, despite the fact that they only placed 3rd, it's still enough points for them in total to actually bring them up to 3rd place overall. So they're already getting themselves ever so tantalizing close to overtaking Expander. Only 1 extra point, and already they will be guaranteed a P2. But whether or not they will be able to get themselves up high until auto knockout, I mean, it's still going to be quite the ass though, if you ask me there, because again, 97 kill points is just insane when you think about the level of performance that AKO has been able to do throughout this competition, isn't it?
Exactly that, and overall we will assume that AKO, they're automatically qualified as well. But there's also a few things that I did notice over on the charts, like despite ORV X-Men to be the ones winning the booyah, we've also had another ORV team that's currently not in the list of playing the past matchup, and they're currently sitting at number 14 or so. And I think they do stand a really good chance if, at least we do get an ORV to be cutting across the border, if that's the case.
And that's the kind of the sad thing about ORV at this point right now, is that the performances during the early part of this group stage has been kind of abysmal, if I were to be honest here, and that's why now it's just kind of looking like an opportunity for them to catch up. But there's still that saying that we might be a little bit too little too late. There's only so many matches left here for today for them, so yeah, it's going to be a tough struggle. But if they're just able to just get themselves to that 12 spot, then I will say that's job done for them, because remember, top 12 is the only ones getting into the regional, and then after that it will be the top 3 going to the challenge stage. So really, the qualification objective much more important than really trying to aim to be the top 5.
Exactly, and we've already seen that if you have what it takes, or already have advantages like the circle closing upon you, do exactly what ORV did. You don't really have to go out hunting. Basically, you book a private area of play and wait for the right opportunity to strike. Meanwhile, if you're absolutely confident, then sure, play like how NC did, which they managed to accumulate the highest amount of score without achieving that booyah. And if they did, probably they will add another extra 6 pointers on the board, plus if you eliminate the opposing team as well. But speaking of which, we're already getting ourselves into game. This is our second match of the day, as we will see some of these group contend yet again here in Alpine.
Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And look at that. AAV Radicals seems to be very much focused on Farang, because last time they also had an early game encounter with them in that last map. So now Farang Jezebel runs into the tent, didn't have any loot at all. Now he managed to pick up the MG here, and he is going to be able to send some fire back there. But man, you can just imagine his shock just run into the room and just find 2 members of AAV Radicals literally running with him as well. Oh, but Jezebel gets himself knocked down. down. Too bad we'll be able to bring him back up to revive, but 2-1, yeah, he's also knocked down as well. Maybe they will be able to finish him off there, but now they're just scrambling and trying to see if there are any other members of AV Radicals to watch out for, because Tinama 1 still on the run, and Farang unfortunately won't be able to spot him that easily though, because he has a really good hiding spot at this point. Farang searching around the compound, doesn't quite find anyone. Jembal now comes out of the compound. Is he going to run straight into Tinama 1? No, Too Bad spots him out though. Tinama 1 in trouble here. He tries to hold the line, but unfortunately he gets knocked down by Jembal instead. But I suppose the good news for AV Radicals is the other member, surviving member of AV Radicals has managed to escape, so they're still in the running here, ladies and gentlemen.
I just love how swiftly Farang proactively plays out the early game. They immediately take whatever loots that's necessary. And now, NC, they find themselves another member out of revenge, and that's going to be the cost, the first one to be knocked out. It's going to be looking a little bit tough for them, but Yazid, he barely even gets a glimpse of him, but he will still nail this one down. 2 pointers for NC.
Yeah, a bit risky as well, though, because he comes out on the outside. That gives Ipans a little bit of a window to shoot. It was not enough to take him down completely, but it forces him to heal, and that's giving him a bit of a lull. Sends out a trouble there, and now Ipans is going to be taking a bit of damage there to his glue wall. That's not going to hold out for long, but now a side shot there is going to be able to take down Yazid. Ipans now moves in, should be able to finish him off completely, but where are the rest of NC, though? They've already got themselves to that safe zone, trying to gatekeep the revive point there, and that's going to be the next point of attack.
And before he's seen how many times Roads have been offering us early engagements, here comes Asta. He's been holding onto the angle, managing to tag over onto DCOS for a tad bit. But here comes more members sending help in the way with Vector Spray down. They will be able to eventually take out the rest of NC. This time, they won't be able to last. And it's Revenge that will be celebrating the first 4 pointers of the game.
That's why the Mag 7 is such a dangerous weapon in the hands of someone who is as aggressive as what we saw over there by Revenge. Because like in close quarters, there's literally no weapon that does as much damage in a short amount of time. And Revenge using that Mag 7 to get 2 knockdowns in a row just goes to show how valuable that particular pickup is there. The thing is, it only is going to help them in these very close quarter situations, though. So when it comes to the next few business circles, Alpine is still, a very mixed environment here. You have, chambers and like rooms to fight around in, but you also have a lot of open ground to cover as well. Freedom Rumble locked out of the temple at the moment, and which is being occupied, the Team Jukes, and right now it seems like FRU just trying to figure out when or where exactly you want to try to attack. Maybe you're trying to find a pickoff first before they move in onto the compound, but at the moment, doesn't seem like Juke is giving them any opening to exploit at this point, so pretty much just stuck on the outside here until they decide to go to that safe zone. But you can already see 2 members. Lei is already leading the charge, getting to that safe zone there to hopefully gatekeep any teams that decide to come in, because I think they are aware of perhaps maybe not Freedom Rumble specifically, but maybe another team is around the corner there, so that's why they're splitting up.
Exactly, and they will be able to at least scout out ahead, get a little bit more information. But I'm really surprised at Freedom Rumble. They choose to congregate right behind it at a rock where you already have a VSS in one of the members' hands, which you could basically plan him as a sentinel over on the back, and that could be good enough of a flank. But overall, we're already seeing Axis Esports on the move. ORV, who have just managed to win a booyah of their own, have been stalking them very quietly, haven't been able to find avenues to strike. Most of their weapons here are mostly in short range, so I don't really see an opportunity for them to really charge up to Axis Esports anytime soon. But Jabat, with all these sort of info that he has managed to get out of these quarters of Rai, he should be able to plan out once Axis Esports moves out for the exit.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where actually they position themselves relative to the safe zone right now. But speaking of safe zone, Revenge is finally making their way there, and they're back up to full strength right now. In fact, because Picking up one of the level 1 chests that's just left on the outside there. So you're going to be able to get some good loot here because they're going to be definitely going to need it coming into the next few phases of the circle here. EWG Pando has already made their way and they're just south of where Revenge is, but don't seem to be too interested in trying to encounter other teams there. Ooh, finds a little mushroom. That's going to be nice and tasty.
That's right. He'll take a little bite and get himself boosted up, and we'll see whether or not can Remel, the last member standing for AV Radicals, to be salvaging whatever is left of the team. He's running further and further on the outskirts, and he's hoping to find a place to be able to bring back his teammates alive. Meanwhile, the rest of ORV Tyrants, though, still vying for that top 12 spot to get themselves to the challenge stage. We'll see how this one closes out. So many of these teams, they're playing on the outskirts, and look what we have. A circle around Rivermouth as well as Stadium, so they're going to be split apart for now, and I think, like, most of these teams would like to plant themselves right into the middle of the city of Rivermouth. Well, just right across.
I have to say, though, that circle definitely favored ORV X-Men quite a bit as EWG now forced to try and make their way, and now they're going to be forced to fight inside the room there, which may work out well for ORV if they can play their cards right. Jens has shotgun in hand, trying to find a shot, no more, but gets caught out a little bit. Manages to duck away into the cover just in time while Manchai gets caught out on the outside by Revenge, who is backdooring them at this point, so ORV knows that they're now locked in a two-way battle. Jens now tries to run away to the other side there to try to get some pressure onto Revenge right now, but look at that, it's still a three-way battle here. EWG decides to cut their losses, makes their way to the safe zone, which currently has a danger zone. Taking up half of it right now. ORV X-Men continues to fight against Revenge here. They managed to keep Kamal and Tom caught the outside by the glue wall. That's going to be breaking down Kamal and Tom. Is he going to be able to hold on there? Looks like he does at this point. But ORV keeping the pressure going. Finally, he gets knocked down now. But Revenge still are in play at the moment. They managed to get the knockdown onto Jens in the moment. But Jassy GG comes in, gets himself back up to speed, picks off the last member of Revenge there. And boy, that's only going to be 11th place there for Team Revenge.
Great execution coming out of ORV X-Men, where they've managed to utilize the vehicle to gain more of that intel to know how many people are in the shack, eventually wrapped around, coming in with some close combat refracts. And after that, we're moving over to another fight here. Duke managed to get a few more pointers in, and Tyrants, they were being taken out by the rest of the team. And my goodness, Asta 666 though, he's on fire.
It looked like they were caught up in a three-way battle themselves, because I saw two different teams that took out individual members of RV Tyrants, so I think that might be an unfortunate gatekeep setup that just didn't work out for them. And Jace gets a kill onto shots here, so he's continuing to keep pressure onto ORV X-Men, and this is just working out well for them because there's extra kill point on the board. Neptune now caught in the outside. EWG losing too many men at this point. Now Rinvan getting knocked down, and oh boy, shots still going to be brought back into play here by Jassy GG, getting himself to revive point just in time, but Rinvan still caught out. I think it's not going to be long for a one shot to the heel, and he is down.
Such a great crossfire coming in from Axis to take these open angles, and now Jays right down below will have Flame sending a little bit more of a barrage into the corners. It's not much that he can basically salvage from here on. He's trying to wrap around, but back in the crosser of Flame 7, and that makes it a 4-pointer for Axis Esports. Duke, the only member alive, is going to be Lei, where he's trying to push forward for the last stand, almost catching on to Jimquest. And this 1 versus 1's taking way too long, and they're not really having much health left. They're in the outskirts, and now Jimquest pushes forward, still has a wall, runs across, and he still gets a shotgun shell straight at his face.
Oh, I mean, close quarters again. You know, if you have an AR or any kind of like rapid fire weapon, you're still gonna lose out to a shotgun no matter what, because all the guy needs is just one shot, and he will already meet his mark. So next circle, gonna land right on top of Geek Fam and AV Radicals, who are back in the game now here. I see 3 members on the map right now, so certainly while they're a little bit behind Mel 1, wow, he's still all the way outside. He's only just come back.
So far away.
So that means the loot-wise, AV Radicals is definitely going to be at a disadvantage. So Remel 1 is going to use the fact that right now we're still in a relatively early stage. I mean, we're already fast approaching that mid to late game stage now, so he needs to quickly get himself up to speed, because looking at the loot situation for everyone else, they're already fully farmed up. They've got so many good weapons right now. I mean, the shotguns have certainly worked out well for those individual counters indoors, but conversely, we're already seeing sniper rifles, the AC-80s, AWMs, all already picked up as well. And the map like Alpine, you need to have you know, the best of both worlds. You know, you need to have consideration for both how you're going to deal with close quarter battles and how you want to deal with the long range battles.
Exactly that. I mean, we've seen a glimpse of that coming out of Axis Esports. The good news for the rest of AV Radicals is that they managed to pull most of the teammates back up, so they should be able to give this one another shot as 7 teams still remain inside the map. Fam finds a little glimpse of the team that's right across, or the X-Men, who have managed to win a couple of all these early trades. Will find it difficult to cut across, but Hazik doesn't seem like he have much of these angles to be able to catch them off guard. But Exact is basically locking them down with their own AWM. Farong now getting tagged up as they take a battle against AV Radical. Oh, that leap of faith. He's only got 10 HP.
Yeah, he's got himself really, really down low, and I wonder whether or not he did that intentionally. It didn't feel like it though, like trying to do a hot drop like that while Farong is already moving up. I mean, it would much better just kind of hold up on top of the tower, but looks like the guys on the ground is going to need some support here. Rimmel 1 and Wine 1 continuing to try to fight it out amongst the buildings here, while Tubat tries to keep a close eye on them with his scope. But Farong right now, they are definitely still at full strength here, and they are certainly trying to make up for that abysmal first round for them. And right now, with AV Radicals being the closest competitor here to that top 5, they will certainly want to be able to take them out.
Exactly that. AV Radicals, though, they're taking this one really slowly, as they are basically making sure that nobody comes in from the outskirts. But most of the teams are already inbound into the face of circle. Now, Tax being shot over on the far corner, and I'm not too sure if Jackie's will be able to survive. He's already suffered enough. Freedom Rumble will go on a chase to secure that 1-pointer if they could, but look at that. Circle now belongs to the rest of AV Radicals, and they're already trying to flush out the rest of Farong, and look who's joining in from the back. It's Axis Esports.
Yep, they're wrapping around the other side. They're hearing a gunfire coming on the north side of Circle. They feel that they want to try to get in on this because they know that we have an opportunity to third-party this fight here. Unfortunately, things seem to be a bit of a standstill right now between AV Radicals and Farong. Jim Quest with No Escape RV gets caught out the outside, so No Escape RV loses out. 7th place for them on this map. Jezebel now putting up a shield, now realizing the Axis is moving in on their position rapidly. They have to try to re-engage on the other side here. This is going to give AV Radicals a bit of a breathing space now to try to regroup. As we can see, Tanamo 1 joining up with Rimmel on the other building there. They're going to try to get themselves in a good position because they are still inside a circle. They don't need to fight this out. Just wait and see what happens between Farong and Axis Esports, because their fight right now is way more important.
So many great shots coming in from the snipers overall. AWM shot coming out of the rest of FRU to bring down one member outside of Geek Fam. Meanwhile, the rest of Farong, they do have AWMs as well as Dragonovs in hand, especially on Jamble. He's been lethal at that. But now, a lot of attention is being drawn into the areas of play where AV Radicals are currently standing, and Freedom Rumble are about to sandwich them from the far northwestern end as well. So they've got a lot of fights to pick, and they have to start with one. And Axis, they're not giving them any leeway at all. They're just hugging over the back of the wall. No grenades being tossed out, and the rest of Geek Fam, they're trailing right in.
Yeah, Geek Fam going up against Jabat here. He is alone, I think, for Tyrants, and unfortunately, with X-Men, and that's a good grenade shot there by Yasta to be able to take it down. So that's going to be ORV Tyrants out for the count in 6th place. In the meantime, Axis doesn't look looking too good at the moment, but Flame 7 bringing it back up. He finally gets a couple of kills there with a shotgun and takes out the rest of Farong. Wow, Axis Esports winning out that battle now and still maintaining full strength.
And just look at AV Radicals. They understand the consequences if they were to commit, and they pull all the way back. Now they enjoy the benefits of the circle. Geekfan now wrapping around from the bottom end of the map, and FRU Danny's has got that one covered up along with Jump 9. and that's a double for them. Only 2 pointers, they still need more. Geek Fam now sheltering themselves inside of Kapow, but how long do they have though? They're still on the outskirts, and it's about to close in.
Oh, Kai just unfortunately locked himself out by the edge of that fence post. This is a bad position for him. He's going to have to come outside. He's going to take a bit of damage up his. Doesn't quite put the fire onto him. Not really keeping him under pressure, though. So that allows him to regroup with the rest of the team and definitely can sigh a breath of relief. In the meantime, the rest of Geek Fam continue to bring shots against AV Radicals, who are taking control over the gas stations. There's literally only one gas station. Why has it gas stations? But anyways, AV Radicals facing fire from both in front and the back axis, now rolling in onto position. The Big 6 in wrap with the grenade launcher takes out a couple of members of AV Radicals and allows Geek Fam to finish them off. Oh boy, AV Radicals yet again misses out on the final circle.
And it's just quite the play coming out of the side of Geek Fam, where they're basically wrapping out all these angles, and they didn't manage to take out Fear Rumble, but they got the bigger fish by the end of it all. Now, Axis Esports, though, they're going to pile on that pressure, and they're about to push forward, and there's only cool walls here.
God.
And Raph, he's going to send those two flying.
Oh my god, yet again, Raph putting the crash on the party. The FRU tried to start there. Somebody get the grenade launcher off his hands right now, because he's the most dangerous man in the circle here. 2 teams to remain. It was Geek Fam versus Axis, and in the end of the day, it was Axis. Oh my goodness, 666 Raph. What a player, what a play.
Quite the beast he is, and overall, this has been so entertaining inside of Alpine, and this is a huge victory, a booyah for Axis Esports. Boy, oh boy, like, Exact even who had that confidence to run right in, to go for a point-blank op shot, like, we don't get to see that any day of our lives, but Axis Esports, they come in with the flair.
Oh my god, what a flair indeed. Axis Esports back in the saddle here, ladies and gentlemen, with that booyah, with the kills that 666 Raph does. I mean, whew, that was incredible skill on that grenade launcher. I mean, we did, like, you know, in the first few days, we did, me and AJ really discuss a lot about that grenade launcher, how crucial,
potent it is.
how absolutely potent it is in the right hands, and certainly 666 Raph shows this is exactly how you use that grenade launcher, you know. Not only is he able to provide suppressive fire, because the shots, you know, they have a wide area effect, so it's still effective both on the outside and indoors, especially when there's very little room to maneuver, but the fact that he was able to land shot after shot against some of the top players here in this group, wow. Impressive performance here by Axis Esports.
I guess that's the very reason why you don't have flammables in gas stations overall. Like, we go back into some of these amazing plays, and Axis have been able to play it very passively over the back and eventually take out the rest of Farang. And it has enabled most of these plays to happen. And Geek Fam, because of them eliminating AV Radicals, that gives the rest of Axis that free passage that they needed. And it came down to this final play.
Yeah, I mean, watch this. Okay, well, I really want to see 666 Raph's like perspective throughout that fight there, because oh boy, landing the shots there with the grenade launcher, and remember, like, because it's not really like a hit scan projectile, it literally arcs. So you also have to consider the drop of the projectile itself. I mean, you really need to have someone as skilled as Raph to really make the full use of it. And with that said and done, booyah and kill points, giving Axis Esports top spot here ahead of Geek Fam 27-18. That's insane here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
wow.
Boy, I mean, they basically wipe out like half the map if you really consider it.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of Freedom Rumble, they only walk away with those 3-pointers. I thought they would have actually got a little bit more, but they weren't willing to push the rest of Geek Fam, although they were in close quarters, which I think it could have basically yielded them a better result overall. But Farang, we saw them fought tooth and nail for this. They couldn't seem to basically get out of that danger zone where they had just absolutely cornered up everywhere they turned. And ORVX, man, we still see that level of consistency coming out from the team. Meanwhile, no escape RV. Despite having only one member alive, they managed to pull through with those 8 points, now tying with AV Radicals.
Yeah, and I think for Farang, despite the fact they managed to get fourth place in the standings here, I I think that's still more or less the same amount of points they got for the last map, so they haven't really progressed. It just feels more like AV Radicals and the others, NC, kind of dropped the ball in this round here. That's probably going to allow Farang a little bit of room now to try to climb up the board, but 9,507. Literally over 9,000 here. XSS Raf, sorry, 666 Raf. My god, that was quite a Freudian slip there, to be honest. But man, what damage this guy is able to pull off there with that grenade launcher. Like I said, like you got to get that weapon off his hands, otherwise he's just gonna kill everybody on the map here.
He definitely is the star of the show overall, being the MVP of the match by the very end. I won't be surprised if half the damage is basically done by himself. So I think like whatever that Axis Esports is currently running with, they should just keep going, because we see them climb up the charts from the past week, and with such a performance, this is a potential top 3 for the team.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but again, it also has to depend on luck. Like, what if Raph doesn't get the grenade launcher the next round there? You know, that can happen sometimes. So you still need to have skills in other, other types of weaponry as well. But then, you know, when you have someone who is just as skilled with the grenade launcher, definitely, like, if you find one, give it to him straight away. Yeah, he'll carry you guys to victory.
Boom! 1 point, 2 point, 3 point toss. Like, give it all to this guy overall. I think Axis Esports, they're just such an entertaining team to watch out. So I'll be keeping my eyes really closely on how far could they basically pull through, because for now they should be safe enough to get through the challenge stage, but there's still going to be a lot more of all these challenges up ahead of them, because once they do meet up with teams like Expand or the other top 2 teams above them, it's gonna be a little bit more daunting for them to have that same level of confidence of how they've been able to perform. But at the very least, like, there is a consistent effort for them to basically safely get themselves into a consistent top 5 performance.
Yeah, but you know, speaking of which, when I look back at the groups that are going to be coming up later on, because the next match is going to be A versus C, I think it's going to be a bit harder, I think, for Axis to continue that consistency, I think, because we also got teams like Auto Knockout, Quick Reactions, Tactical Index. They're also no slouches as well when it comes to using a grenade launcher, and they certainly have used that quite a few times in this competition. So I think in that specific one, that's going to be the match coming up. That's where we're going to see 66 Raph really, hopefully be able to demonstrate that he is the master of using a grenade launcher.
Exactly that, and what I really do like about that past round is that there's a lot of involvement with sniper rifles inside of Alpine, where we're seeing the Dragunovs, the AWMs, and so many variations of great shots being fired from across the map, where a lot of all these pickups from Geek Fam were actually from long range. And you know what, like, there's a lot to talk about, but we definitely want to jump right in for this interview with our Booyah winners.
Yeah, so in that case, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be having an interview coming up soon. Hopefully we'll be able to hear a little bit more from Axis Esports about how they felt about that match there. So let's go ahead and listen in on that interview.
Game tu
That
sebab
happened again.
miscom.
I think it's when they switched over
Okay,
to...
miscommunication lah. Okay. So ikut tu ada apa
Ya,
nak tambah ke?
soalan saya, jadi sekarang ni Axis pemain dengan Raf, pemain daripada negara luar. Jadi komunikasi tu ada apa-apa masalah ke, ataupun semua mudah saja untuk anda semua?
Bagi kami tak ada dan mudah je, senang je. Untuk dia senang faham, kami pun senang faham macam tu.
I see. Jadi apakah mungkin orang kata penambahbaikan yang Axis dah buat berbanding dengan tournament-tournament lain?
Kita orang improve dan sudahlah.
Okey, jadi mungkin ada apa-apa kata-kata akhir yang Neptune ingin sampaikan kepada peminat dan juga penyokong pasukan Axis.
Terima kasih kerana yang dah support kita orang. Jangan lupa kita orang kat final.
Amboi, confident eh?
Jumpa kita orang kat final, tu je. Terima kasih.
Baik, okey, terima kasih Neptune dan semoga berjaya untuk perlawanan-perlawanan yang seterusnya. Itulah dia Neptune daripada pasukan Axis.
Ya, betul.
Left to you. What confidence? Just say, oh, we'll see you at the finals.
Yeah, like,
no questions out of that.
I can feel it. He's man of very little words. That's all you need to hear. That's the confidence that he displays, not only to the fans out there, but to his own squad, which they definitely believe in themselves on what they could basically offer, and this is what we really want to see out of all these teams that have been competing here in the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Yeah, I mean, again, this was another important quality, right, of being a good leader, is that not only are you good at, making good decisions at moment to moment, but also being able to inspire your team with the confidence that you hold yourself in your team's ability and everything else. So, good show there from Access Esports. We'll hope to see more of them, because after this break, we're going to be moving back to Purgatory with groups A and C. So make sure you guys stick around here. This is Snapdragon Pro Series. We'll be right back after the break.
Booyah!
Hey!
The
now
Snapdragon
we're
Pro
back.
Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Gentlemen, to the Snapdragon Pro Series, where we bring you guys the next set of groups that are going to be coming up here in this final day of the group stage. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Contra. We're here to bring you guys more Free Fire action right over here. So now, Group A continues their little climb right now in this group stage, but this time it's going to be a different set of teams as we tell Group D to take a little bit break. We're going to be seeing them later on at the end of the day here, but nevertheless, but then now it's going to be Group C's turn to shine.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting group overall, and we're going to welcome teams like Tactical Intex to be hopping along where they have been able to really go out there to farm those big numbers, and potentially they are the ones to basically shut down the Titans of the block. So Group A, yes, they might be happily farming for the past couple rounds, but this is where things get tougher for those who were playing for the past 2 games.
Yep, so you've got to watch out for Auto Knockout. They're going to be coming back in to continue their streak here of kills, and they're just so tantalizingly close to making it 100 kills for themselves. I mean, that's been the biggest story, I would say, coming out of the group stage here. It's just the impressive performance that AKO has been bringing to this group stage right now. But AB Radicals catching up slowly but surely, 144 points, but seems like that's going to be another challenge here for them to whether or not they can finally make it to 90 plus kills in this round here. But that means they're gonna have to drop very, very well in order to work it out. Expand, having 4 booyahs so far means that they were very high on that placement points, but still they're gonna need a lot of effort to be able to keep themselves up in that top 5.
Exactly that, and I've been loving the way that AV Radicals play it out, and even in that past round we saw Ramel was the only one left out of AV Radicals where he managed to basically save majority of all these teammates and then play for that final few, which they have been able to secure themselves into a top 4 positioning overall in the rankings. But now that we have so many of all these big names appearing, this is where we'll see if AV Radicals will be able to outlast the rest of Auto Knockout. And also, I did brought up a point where Tactical Intex, they've also been on a hot form as of late, so they definitely are huge contenders as we move into this A versus C route.
Yep, so Group A, you guys remember them. They are still here, ladies and gentlemen. AB Radicals, Fire and Revenge, Axis Esports, Geek Fam, and Pando EWG. Now we're introducing Group C, Auto Knockout, Quick Reactions, Tactical Intex, Hard to Get, K9 Meta, and Ilustrados Uegos.
And of course, well, there's some of these names that have been able to secure their very own booyah, especially for Ilustrados Uegos, which we see that climb upwards, and then after that, they have a little bit of a drop-off in terms of their performance. Perhaps today might just be another great day for them. Meanwhile, for both K9 teams, they have their own fair share of struggles. If a team like ORV X-Men could have actually done it, they could do it too. Same goes to Hard to Get, where with haven't really seen too much of a glimpse of overall. They do go in for those early contests. I hope to see improved firepower rates coming in from some of these squads that have been having a little bit of a tough time. And let's take a look at some of these names out here.
Yep, Panto EWG from Group A, Hard to Get, and Ilustrados Uegos from Group C. For Hard to Get and Ilustrados, it's kind of been hard to kind of gauge them compared to some top teams. Like, obviously, Ilustrados have been experiencing a bit of a lull in their performances as of late. Past tournaments for them have been very, very good, but lately they've been struggling to match the level of performance and promise that you know, they definitely have as players themselves. So certainly, this competition has really exposed a lot of like what they kind of need to work on. Granted, they do have certain moments of brilliance though, and in those instances they definitely play very, very well. It's just that those moments bit too few and far in between.
Yeah, I think like their standout performance was the ones where they secured themselves a booyah with what, 26 overall points to close out that round. And even if they do get a few more of that, like, where do they really stand right now? Because the last we checked on the ladder, like, there's been a lot of teams chasing upwards, especially today with majority of the games to be played out by mainly Group A. There's so little wiggle room for the rest of Ilustrados Uegos to basically propel forward, so it has to start from this game onwards.
Yeah, it's like Sir Lewis Hamilton has once said, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So, you know, you need to have that consistency. But I think the good news for teams like Hard to Get and Illustrados is that, you know, given that this is going to be the last day of groups for them, it's going to be a sprint pretty much for them for the rest of the day here.
I think
So
you just gotta start running, like no warm-ups. Hopefully there's no cramps in between though. Like, it does happen. So I feel it in my legs recently. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, literally, and like my other foot has got past issues, and like I was walking like a penguin. Like, yeah, they don't want to end up like me. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so that's the thing, you know, when you don't have those early performances during the group stages, that means, you know, you got so much to catch up for, you know, in the final closing stage. So yeah, it's still going to be very tough for Illustrados and Hard to Get. I think Hard to Get might be on the first page, I'm not too sure, but Illustrados certainly has been spending more time in the second side of the page, and it just goes to show that, you know, they still lack that consistency, even though that occasionally when things turn out right for them, they still make good decisions, they still are able to fight. It's just that what exactly is causing them to, you know, drop out some of those games where, you know, they just literally come out of it with 1 or 2, maybe even 0 points sometimes. So when you have those kind of bomb performances, it kind of you know, makes those like little moments where, you know, they shine just kind of feel a bit, you know, it doesn't have the impact, you know. That's a problem.
I feel like the biggest factor for them is to make quicker decision makings that will be able to put themselves ahead, because there are times where maybe they kind of look like they were making a 50-50 decision, and you don't really want to be at that point, especially when you're in the middle of a team fight. So in close quarter combats, we see them excel. Like, they are masters at that. So I give it to them that they have been able to churn out great scoring results overall when it comes out to close combat. But when there are multiple teams, we'll just like say, bring it back to Alpine on the last stand. Although with different teams, we have seen great achievements coming in from some of these players of Geek Fam. We've seen a lot of great work coming out of Axis Esports. It's time that they start emulating some of their successes.
And that's the thing about, like, this is actually a good point to bring up, actually, about these new current pool of maps here, is that it tends to balance out a lot more, you know, skill level you need to bring into these matches here, because now, you know, you cannot really be too focused on one style of fighting opposed to the other, and especially in a map like Alpine, you kind of have to be good at a little bit at both, or maybe find a good pickup that allows you to play a couple of those roles. In the meantime, AV Radicals yet again continuing to try to bully Farang for a third time in a row, just jumping straight on top of them, and now just trying to take control over this revive point here. Big engines coming out there, a bit of noise in this chaos right now as Farang still gets himself locked up a little bit inside the building here, and AV Radicals can't really find a way to get through, or rather they don't want to force an engagement indoors if they can help it.
Exactly that. Perhaps they're just basically getting some of them distracted with a little bit of noise, but that's just about it. Farang undeterred, while Axis to continue on his spree. And oh my goodness, Raph doesn't seem like he even need those grenade launchers to kick things off. The Armel and the rest of AV Radicals, they're quite stacked up though. So I really wonder how well could Farang actually fare. And if they do win this trade out, AV Radicals could easily catch up to Auto Knockout.
Yeah, looking at the map right now, let's start as the way it goes. They're waiting in the wings, actually, with this battle between AV Radicals and Farang. So perhaps they're thinking about gatekeeping that setup right now, because, you know, after whoever wins that battle between AV and Farang is going to have to contend with IJ gatekeeping them to that safe zone. So they need to try and finish this quickly so they start to deal with that problem. Jembo is going to be knocked down now. Wine1 should be able to take him out. That's going to be revenge for them taking out Tanamo 1. So now it's a 3v3 continuing on. But Wine1 has taken a lot of damage, though. Needs to try to find some healing, and I don't know if there's going to be any healing items on the outside left here to loot, and Farang is just hoarding, or rather holding position inside the building right now, so that's just forcing AV Radicals aside. Either do we want to just move on right now, or are we going to continue to just keep them sieged up here?
And Illustrados Guegos, they're just going to find those opening angles from afar, and they're starting to attack them all up. Now we see Hyper getting another pick off on the outskirts, while Armel, he's going to be able to land a couple of all these shells across against Spade. But how did this guy get up there? Well, It's definitely gonna throw a little bit of curveball to the rest of AV Radicals, and Tinamo has already bowed out.
Ramel needs to try to get upstairs, but you know, with Parang suddenly finding a position up on top of the roof there, that's putting a lot of pressure now on AV Radicals. Choose one, fighting against a window here, but Jembo still has a lot of health. He's going to try to rush in, but the glue wall prevents him from being able to get an angle there. He sees Ramel one, can't find an angle to fight here, while the rest of Parang fights in from the bottom. AV Radicals, the first team to get knocked out here on this round. Wow, finally Farang gets revenge, and boy, how sweet that tastes.
That definitely is something else coming in from Farang, and you thought that Farang won't be able to receive that much intel because they were all stuck in the opposite side of the compound. The moment that their areas were opened up, that's where they managed to basically wrap things around. And against AV Radicals, that definitely tastes a lot bitter for the ones that on the receiving end, especially I just mentioned. They could have basically caught up against AKO, the only team that could do so.
Well, man, the good news for Farang is that they've basically stopped AV Radicals in their tracks right now, so anything they can gain out of this round here is just going to be points, allowing you to get even closer to AV Radicals' position on the leaderboard, so this is working out well. However, they're still not out of the woods here, ladies and gentlemen, because remember, they're stuck on that island. Once they come out of it, Ilustrados Uegos is already waiting to gatekeep them into the next zone, so we'll see how that turns out for them. In the meantime, speaking of Revenge, the actual team here, seems to be in a bit of a battle right now of Axis, though it seems like they're pulling back right now to the higher ground because that's a little bit closer to that safe zone right now, and they can certainly hold this position here and not try to go aggressive against Axis Esports, because remember how deadly 666's Rap is, and you know, he got the first blood already, so you can tell they're still looking for those kill points.
Exactly that. You definitely don't want to mess with Axis Esports right now. But for the rest of Revenge, they can basically take the Foxfire, cut across into a deeper end of the pool if they really want to. Across Basilia, though, this is where it will be a little bit of a safe hideout for the rest of H2G against Tactical Intex, who's currently in the south side of Brasilia. Both sides sharing a little bit more of a spacing. There's a 2-2 split going on between members of the side of H2G, so that they could basically still get each other covered up. But the rest of the teams are already moving around, and it seems like somebody got eliminated by an oil barrel? Okay, that's something that's unheard of.
Well, Lesko's holding position. He's already trying to gatekeep Spade here, but unfortunately the Blue Zone is already surrounding them, so Ilustrados is just hoping that the damage is not bad enough that they were going to be forced to get out of position, especially, you know, the early first round, the first circle. Blue Zone is not that painful, so they can still hold out. Oh, QR losing a couple of members right now. Shanks and Hyper are now going to be surrounded by Hazik coming around the backside. Trouble's coming out at the same time. A coordinated attack here. The glue wall is going to try to keep them imprisoned inside the ruins here. Are they going to be able to fight it out though? Shanks does get the knockdown, appears and takes it out completely, but then the rest of Geek Fan comes in, eliminates quick reactions. 11th place only for QR.
There's so little spacing, man. I'm feeling claustrophobic about that fight, but Geek Fan, they managed to at least seal the deal, secure 4 points, but just trading Hazik out for that. And eventually we'll get Hazik back out from the gray screen for at the very least. Now we see many of these teams circulating around the central area, and now it's still going to move over to the corners of fields. It seems like it's a little bit of deja vu, but it's not going to be on the far eastern end instead. So I guess it's not too bad of news for Farang, where if they do manage to cut across, they should be safe for now. But look at the wraparound coming from not only Ilustrados Uegos, there's going to be more company up ahead as you see them trolling up that area of the hill. This is going to be a little bit concerning for the rest of Ilustrados Uegos.
Yeah, I mean, AKO knows there's a buy point there. I think that's main objective, but they also have been hearing shots coming from that side there, so it looks like they want to try third-party this, and I think it's going to be bad for the Uegos because they're very spread out. But AKO, no, they're going to be diverting downwards towards the safe zone, so it looks like they want to try to gatekeep the gatekeepers here. Ilustrados, they've been still holding out. I still see a dope on the outside there inside the blue zone, but, you know, they can't hold out there forever with the next circle still being close enough for Farang. I don't know if that's still going to be enough pressure here. I think IG is probably going to be best for them to cut their losses at this point. Mina AKO meets up with K9 Meta. This is going to be a fight.
Oh, this is definitely going to be quite the fight that we've been waiting out for AKO, though. have finally showed themselves out there. K9 meta now dropping a few of all these deflates onto members inside of AKO, but look at their positioning. They're already on the sniper's nest, and things are not looking all too good for K9 as Newbie swoops around the corner, should be able to find a killing blow, and that makes it one for him and ZenOP.
Yeah, 2 members of Meta still remaining. One guy's going to hold back here to try to keep AKO from continuing the chase here, trying to delay them, but Delete spotted out on the outside there. Faiz is going to try to shoot him down, doesn't quite land the shots to knock him down completely, but he's completely suppressed behind that rock. The rest of AKO, ZenOP going around the right-hand side now, takes down Delete, and that should be him getting taken out as well.
Wow, another clean battle coming out of AKO, and they're barely even scratched in that scuffle. So it's just down to great positioning and coordination of an attack coming out from the top squad of the tournament thus far. GeekFam, though, they did lose another 2 members on the outskirts, and things are not looking all too good as they were taking on against EWG. And GeekFam now will bring 2 of these members back, so still considered a huge win for GeekFam as they secured themselves 5 points.
Yep, and also gets to take away his truck as well, so that's 2 for 1, pretty much. Yasa now taking the Wings of Liberty down the road. Just picks up his teammate, or is he going to just roll right past? Yeah, he's just going to roll right past. I'm not sure actually that car actually has 2 seats, and now that I think about it. But nevertheless, GeekFam still around the outside there in the blue zone, just taking this opportunity to loot whatever's left there, while the other teams are already made their way into the safe zone now. But now it's going to be closing the revival point in 30 seconds, so anyone who's still out of the map right now, there's only 30 seconds left to bring them back into the game. After that, you're just going to have to run with whoever you have left in your squad.
Exactly that, and FRG now, they spot 1 member outside of AKO, and they have absolutely no clue about this. But now, with a little bit more presence of mind, we see a couple of glue balls being popped up from inside of AKO, and Ilustrados Juegos ready to basically take on this engagement. But first, McRory goes for a quick restock, and let's see what he's had in his hands. But Faiz, though, he's been getting those perfect shots, and ZenOP now goes up for a quick push. All together, attack teaming across, and then it's going to be Farong that will bite the dust just to down and out.
Yep, 1 member left, Spade. He has a Barrett, but he is surrounded on all sides. IJ keeping pressure on him. He is trying to keep Fura suppressed right now, but Vice is also giving the shots onto him. Let's Go gets knocked down as well. Now the rest of AKO moves on to Spade. I don't think he's going to be getting out of this very soon here. Doesn't really have the weapons we need to work with, and Farong loses out at 10th place.
And just like that, AKO has gotten themselves a swift 7-pointer out there, and they're basically chasing in to be the kill leaders of the pack. Now, on the outskirts of the updated circle, it has to be the rest of the members of Ilustrados Juegos. They only managed to farm those 2 early points against Farong as well as Tactical Intex, I do believe, when they were battling out there. And Revenge, they have yet to secure themselves those points, but they've always been within the grasp of the circle. This seems to be a really good place for them to plan themselves. They spot 1 member being revived from the side of Ilustrados, and now that gives them all the info they need.
Yeah, and almost as soon as he came back in, it looked like he was almost going to get taken out by Kamal and Torm there. But I really want to see what's happening over in the Axis Esports side, though, because it looks like it was a 4-way battle that was starting to form up there right now with Revenge, who are staking a claim onto the eastern side of the circle. And look at that, Axis caught him out in a very, very tight spot there, and they're already locked in the battle with Tactical Intex at the same time. While GeekFam, a little bit spread out, as Uppies only just rejoined them in the map right now. But then Axis versus Intex, who's going to be able to come on top. Oh, Neptune gets knocked down. This could be bad, though. Ravraf is going to be able to bring him back up there with the glue wall, able to keep him up to speed now. But then things are looking bad because Intex is using this opportunity to move up on their position. Axis now going to have to fight it out man to man, hand to hand, as they are going close quarters now. Zipno still around the outside. Glue wall's going to keep him out of the way while Zach tries to flank him. Does get him knocked down. Puts out the glue wall just in time and takes out Lionel as well. 2 down so far. Can they get a couple more? And Zach Gets another one of the Zip Dude, takes him out completely. Flame 7 knocks down Mako. Now they just need to one Pablo, who's the last member of ITX. He's running out of the window, out of the wall. Can't quite find anyone else there until Neptune takes him down. Tactical Index finishes off at P9.
Now, that's going to be a little bit of trouble for the side of Axis to basically run into the circle as well, where they're going to be out in the open plains, and they need every single wall that they can basically have to build it up against Geek Fam. Though Geek Fam may not have the best of numbers, they should be able to challenge them well enough. Meanwhile, the rest of the squads are still on the spot of the hill. They're going to take things slowly. AKO, the moment that they settle the fights uphill, they should have a clear entry point to basically face off against the sole target out of K9 and also the rest of Geek Fam. Shots being fired, Picos finds one, pick off, and that's still not enough for them to secure the kill though, but EWG will have Banchai to be able to do just that. 4 pointers in, and Picos, he doesn't seem like he has much to offer right now, and Revenge, they're just slowly getting tagged.
Yeah, they're getting tagged very badly, and EWG, you know, they should be able to bring Manchai back up, try to bring a trollable, doesn't quite take him down. Now he tries to run across, gets himself knocked down yet again, though. But EWG still has a couple of members, Monito and Rinven, now trying to hold the line here against Revenge. They know there's only 2 members left of them to go. Oh, but look at that! Woo! Oh, nice shot there with the grenade launcher. Kamel and Torm taking a double there with that one shot. And now I think Revenge very much in trouble here as they now scatter away, trying to break themselves out of this mess right now. And Kamal and Tom finally gets that opening. Now they move away. There is a buy point close to them. Will they be able to get some good stuff there? Or are AKO going to be the bigger threat they're going to have to deal with here, because AKO still has 4 members up. Now with the buy points already up, they will be able to bring the rest of their members in. It's still a very crowded circle, I have to say, though, as right now Jay-Z facing a bit of trouble trying to work his way uphill because Axis Esports keeping them from being able to get into the next zone there. Error 7 out of the open, though. Ooh, he's going to be able to get, yeah, just in time getting down on the ground, but he only has a pistol in hand as Batman continues to keep the pressure going onto 66 Rap and Neptune, who are now healing things up. The Blue Wall Buster is going to come up. Shields are going to be popped as well from Axis Esports as they attempt to try to hold the position here up on top of this road. But it's a little bit flat. Now Batman moves in. Axis down to only Neptune here. They will eliminate the rest of them as a surrounding point now. And finally, Axis gets taken down in their prime. 4 teams remain.
And we see the rest of H2G just piling on the attack, and there's nothing much that Axis Esports could basically hold on to keep themselves alive. Now AKO takes this opportunity to strike right back. H2G wins that battle on that lower end of the kill, but look at what's going on in the upper hand, where Revenge, they're still basically piling on a little bit more pressure, but they're soaking it in from the rest of AKO.
Yeah, the Blue Wall Buster, they put out 2 as well, so any new ones to bring in is not going to work out. Revenge getting caught out there. Jay-Z putting the final blow, but they're not out yet because they still had to fight against H2G, who still has 4 members, but managed to get 1 knockdown. It looks like it's OP holds a line in front there. 4-bits bring himself back up to the revive, but he's still very low, taking a lot of damage from the other side. As AKO still has a high ground, still has a lot of cover to work with here. Now wrapping around, they're going to be aggressive with Newbie coming in front there with a shotgun. This is going to be bad for H2G if they can't deal with this pressure coming in there. The Troubles comes in as well. And look at that, AKO still reigns supreme here, ladies and gentlemen, with another booyah.
And they are always the final boss in all these battles. This time around, it's Faiz that will step up to the platter and will secure this hefty amount of points for AKO. Overall, I think like they've always come in with packets of surprises, but the first couple of battles was just a walk in the park. And then you look at the other side of the fights, I think like the ones on the lower grounds were pretty darn interesting. And look what we have right there. Man, is this our new guy in our dark cape?
I mean, hard to get. Batman probably going to be feeling a little bit jealous the fact that AKO actually has a Batman actually playing in their midst there. So who is the real Batman really? I don't know. But what's for sure though is that AKO still is on top of the class here in Group A. And wow, we've taken the Booyah some more. I mean, again, I was more or less expecting them to, you know, to really pile in a lot of kills, you know, during this round, because, you know, they've been doing those kind of performances all throughout this group stage. But then look at that. I mean, again, probably a little bit of luck that they, weren't hot dropped at the get-go from this first round, but that might actually has just given them so much space to get so much good loot, and they just saved up all that energy for that final circle.
Exactly that. We also want to take a look at their rotation overall because they came in from the western corner of the map, they moved up, and then they were basically chasing against K9, the first target on their hit list, which K9, they didn't really stand a chance. Three players were off from the get-go, and you see Newbie, he has that pure confidence to just run in all alone, unassisted, just to secure more of all these pointers out there. That's what you can do when you trust ZOP just about enough. And then it came down to the battle where H2G managed to basically flush the rest of Axis and also some of the members of Revenge. But pushing up was definitely a daunting task, especially when they didn't really have enough stocks to equip themselves with. And, they're kind of out of blue walls, and, justice is served.
Yeah, justice served indeed. It's served very, very well done indeed for AKO. 28 points for them with the Booyah as well. That's going to certainly raise the bar even further now in the overall standing. But hard to get. I have to say though, having 17 points in the bag for them is certainly a performance to be proud of for them, because that puts them ahead of Axis as well as Revenge. So that's certainly going to keep them very much a team to beat right now inside Group C here. So nevertheless, for the others, quick reaction, Tattle Index, what happened to these two guys? Because I was thinking that they were going to be bringing in bigger performances, especially after the long break, but it seems like they have kind of dropped the ball in this first round right now. Tactical Index only 2 placement points, quick reactions only found 2 kills so far.
For AV Radicals, we can absolutely understand why, because they were basically having themselves into that tight situation where they were not only locked by Illustrados Egos from the outskirts, but together with Farang. But you see, none of these teams have been able to get by really safely. The only team to do so was Illustrados, where they have been able to have a little bit more of a safe haven by the outskirts of Moat House, but they weren't proactive enough. They've given a little bit too much room for the rest of AKO to wiggle with, and also Revenge, where they eventually just didn't manage to even go out there, get the vantage point, and man, it's just absurd. How does AKO consistently deliver all these huge numbers? And mind you, 14 headshots, where everybody's bringing shotguns, shells, and everything, and you got players like Faiz who basically aims for the head, and you don't stand a chance.
I mean, again, you consider the fact as well, you got Newbie, who is a CQC specialist, constantly using the shotgun, very aggressive in his positioning, doing close quarter fight. Zenop as well, wow, I mean, auto knockout in all every sense of the word. They have the full palette of abilities to really complement each other, and I think that's kind of the secret, I think, to being that top team, is that you have people who are not only specialists in their own right, but then they fill up the gaps that the other specialists aren't able to occupy, and just that way they just through teamwork and through good decision making by Mr. D, they're just able to make all of that come together in such a beautiful symphony of destruction here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It was so well balanced overall, and I believe that, it's time for us to talk to the rest of AKO. So let's join them on this interview.
Mr. D tak dapat kedudukan yang secantik sekarang ni.
Rasanya luck dekat kita orang kali ni.
Oh, ada tuah lah.
Luck circle tu. Bertuah.
Tapi saya rasa sejujurnya, saya rasa inilah yang nak digambarkan. Orang lama masih berbisa, dan Mr. D berjaya untuk membuktikan yang kali ini dengan line up yang berbeza dan mungkin dengan nama baru nampak lebih kuat. Jadi Mr. D, mungkin boleh kongsi tak sedikit rahsia Mr. D. Biasanya Mr. D sehari berlatih sekurang-kurangnya berapa lama?
Lama.
Itu macam saya stream. Jadi sambil stream tu training je lah. Macam je lah.
Kalau stream tu berapa lama?
3-4 jam.
3-4 jam. Sehari 3-4 jam.
Untuk satu sesi lah.
Untuk satu sesi.
Biasa saya stream 2 sesi.
Oh, maksudnya lebih kurang 6 ke 8 jam sehari lah.
6 jam lah.
Oh, adakah Mr. D ada berlatih off stream?
Berlatih off stream kita orang biasa main tournament lokal je. Tournament malam-malam tu je.
Jadi nampak tak? Bukan 6 jam tu stream saja dan ada juga training kat luar. Jadi,
ada.
Haji Yat, apa komen anda?
Komen
Ataupun apa soalan anda kepada Mr. D?
Komen tak ada nak komen lah. Soalan nak tanya mungkin kalau kata lihat sebelum ni memang kita nampak Mr. D tak main pun kalau
Betul,
dekat MCP
betul,
kan.
betul.
So bila dekat ESL ni Mr. D main, so nampak perubahan tu sangat besar.
Betul.
So ada benda tu macam ni nak tanya, adakah benda tu sebenarnya kedatangan Mr. D dalam tim tu, dalam tim AKO ni menyebabkan performance tu ada naik sikit. Bukan sikit ni, rasanya banyak ni.
Banyak.
Bukanlah nak compare.
Tanya apa? Mungkin sebab bawa nama kot. Sebab nama.
Sebab nama
Sebab ada
nampak tu. You don't know item.
Saya sebenarnya tak ada soalan dah nak tanya sebab setiap malam saya tanya soalan kat dia.
Setiap malam.
Bukan kat sini je. Setiap malam tanya soalan kat dia. So macam dah tak ada soalan dah.
Mungkin soalan terakhir kita lah kepada Mr. D. Okay, jadi apa mungkin Mr. D ingin katakan kepada peminat dan pastinya penyokong tegar AKO yang boleh katakan dah lama dalam Free Fire ni?
Saya nak ucapkan terima kasih pada yang support kita orang jatuh bangun daripada kita bermacam-macam e-sport, dan sampai sekarang kita balik AKO, balik back to basic. Still lagi ada orang support kita lah dekat komen yang ada sikit lagi. So terima kasih lah.
Itulah dia Mr. D. Baik, terima kasih Mr. D dan semoga berjaya dan terus maintain top 1. Nampak orangnya baik je.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing's for sure, when you talk about like AKO's meteoric rise here, certainly going to be gaining so many fans after this competition here, because what a brilliant run they've been having so far, leading the board from the get-go and just continuing to dominate the rest of the competition here. I mean, is there anything else left for AKO to conquer right now outside of the regionals, I think?
Yeah, I think like overall they've been establishing themselves as a household name in Malaysia. It's time that they basically prove themselves against the rest of the world, where they may not have found those sort of successes yet, but with such hefty performances that is being displayed, it's also great that the casters on the Malay segment has been able to highlight that Mr. D hasn't been playing for such a long time. He wasn't even playing in the MCP, but with his presence, they have been able to achieve so much more.
Yeah, if you love those kind of achievements, why don't you go ahead and check out our sponsors for this event, because Snapdragon Pro Series wouldn't have been possible without the support of Snapdragon Elite Gaming for when winning matters. And also the second sponsor here, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast together with them over on their website, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, go ahead and find kachishop.com, because they give you so much deals, so much discounts there when you are looking for the next reload for your favorite games. Go ahead and check them out over at www.kachishop.com/my. So on that note, we're already done with Purgatory. Still one more match to be played here between groups A and C, and that's going to be on Alpine. But before we get to that, we're going to give you guys a short break. So when we come back, more action here at the Snapdragon Pro Series.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Welcome back as you are joining us here for the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Edition. And my name is Contra. This gentleman right here is Victor Cax. We are your storytellers for the entirety of the evening as we proceed to round 4.
Yep, it's going to be the round of Alpine here between groups A and C, and I really want to see whether or not AKO can keep up this kind of performance here because they've been just so dominant, right, in this competition right now that I struggle to really find any kind of team that really are able to match them in terms of that performance. I mean, even with quick reactions kind of index kind of like losing out in the first round, I think there's still definitely room for improvement for those two squads in particular, and I definitely want to see them actually compete a little bit better because out of Group C right now, it's auto knockout is still the standout performer in that group right now. But then AV Radicals and Farang, it looks like they're just literally bullying each other right now.
Exactly that. I feel like this beef has to end at some point in time. Like, I guess like they're really testing out the power levels overall. And who's the clear winner? Honestly, I don't think anyone's a clear winner in that very case. But if you compare the numbers on the charts, AV Radicals, they definitely are sitting at second place because of them being hindered. Like, the gap has been opened up wide. Auto knockout with another win. They're about to reach 200 points. Just digest that for a quick bit. And they've already hit that triple-digit mark of kills in that one particular game.
I mean, it's crazy to see that, even just placement points alone, they have sometimes even twice the amount of placement points than some of the teams in the second page there. So it just goes to show how dominant they are.
Could be quadruple of their points.
Could be,
if
yeah.
You compare it to K9.
Yeah, but Axis Esports, shout out to them as well, putting themselves up to third spot. This is certainly not a bad performance for them at all, and they certainly gained a lot in terms of kill points in these last few rounds here. So definitely on the up, and they've already overtaken Expand, so that's already good news. It means they're already kind of reaching the par of where we expected them to see. Expected to see them in this competition right now, but still falling a little bit short of AV Radicals, in spite of the fact that AV Radicals hadn't actually gotten a single booyah. Now that I see here, not even a single booyah, but just kill points alone is just keeping them very, very high up on the board right now.
Exactly that, and we also have to look at the cutoff point right there. Geek Fam now sitting 1 point shy out of Bloody Hades, where they've already played 3 rounds consecutively, meaning to say this final round that Group A is playing, Geek Fam really has to step up to the plate to really prove themselves worthy that they can stay in this competition. And because of hard to get performance in that past round itself, they're catching up to Geek Fam. Illustrados where it goes, it's a little bit of a stretch, but if they do win a booyah, nothing's impossible.
Nothing is impossible, but I would still say that it's very, very hard. Just to think about them, gaining 20 points in the space of 1 means that, they had to beat AV Radicals, they had to beat Farang, they had to beat Auto Knockout. So many factors to consider here that I don't know necessarily if Illustrados Wagos is going to be able to make it there. But, looking at how close it is from that, 10th to 14th place there, I think there's basically separate of 1 point a lot between those 4 or 5 teams there. So it just shows that they're all it's still anyone's kind of opportunity right now to get into that top 12, but they just really need to make this last round count.
Exactly that, and I think there's so little rounds left here in the Open Finals itself, where we're about to even get ourselves into the challenge stage. So I wonder by then, do we say goodbye to teams like Geek Fam, who have fought so hard, and it's always gonna be a little bit painful for those fans out there, but that's the nature of the tournament.
Yeah, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have your own predictions, why don't you share it with us over on the Twitch stream here? Because the predictions, the votes are live right now. Go ahead and select who are the teams that you feel are going to be bringing out standout performances in these closing stages of the group stage. And right now, I mean, for my money, it's still, I feel, I just want to kind of put emphasis on quick reactions cattle in this, because I feel that they're the kind of middling team that just on the verge of putting up a good performance. Just they haven't really found that so far here today, and I'm really hoping to see them actually come into full form by the time the day ends. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping straight into the game now. The flight path comes in from the north to the south here, more leaning towards the eastern side, but we see most of the teams, so especially the good ones, really taking control over the eastern side of the map.
I want to highlight that that AKO is having a very wide spread. Like, UB as well as what I do believe is to be Zen OP to be quite split apart across the snowfall. And shots are already being fired. Blank might be able to actually get this one in the back, but he's holding up for himself just about fine. And the other two members are in garrison. Are they going to be able to do much, though?
Don't think so. I think this is a part of a strategy I've seen some of these two. This is part of a strategy I think I've seen some of these teams do, which is they split up in the early phase of the game so that the two members that are hot dropping will be able to try to go for some kill points. Unfortunately for Zen OP, he got caught on the outside, so now it's going to be up to Newbie to see if he can salvage it. But it looks like he's just going straight for a buy point here, trying to buy back some either weaponry or can even buy back his teammate. Yeah, he buys back his teammate right now, and they want to try to continue this fight here. Let's see how that will pan out. In the meantime, Farah has just lost too bad. Now they're trying to get some revenge onto Revenge's Ipans, who is just hiding around inside the building here. Jembal trying to find an angle, can't quite get the jump onto Ipans yet, until just now when Spade finds the shot, finds an angle on the other side now, but Erasum is going to be taking a bit of damage from a distance right now as Jembal finishes off the last member, Kemal Tom, trying to snipe them at a distance while Jembal baits him out a little bit. Unfortunately, not going to be able to save, not going to be able to bait him out too much as Kemal Tom, quite far away, will be able to peel off of this battle very, very quickly.
For 2 rounds in a row, Kemal and Torm have always been able to turn things up a notch, and he's the one bagging most of these points back to his side of Revenge. Of course, playing with member down will be a little bit worrisome for the time being, but just like how AKO have been able to bring their members back, they should be able to do so with plenty of time, especially with this circle, which is pretty much heavily centered around the central areas of the map. So Axis, they will enjoy themselves over on the south side of rear map while the battle continues. Kazu gets a couple of clips off of Newbie, but he's going to be able to get himself healed up with a healing gun. But the rest of AKO, they're plotting vengeance upon the rest of the members of QR.
I wonder what's the game plan here with AKO. Just going to try to farm QR for those kill points. It seems like at least the battle is just kind of distracting with them a little bit from focusing on getting that farm. So maybe that's going to be one of the ways that AKO really is able to try to extend that dominance by really taking these easy sort of fights. I say easy mostly because Newbie and like Zen are just insane players, that they can just take on an entire squad by their duosome. In the meantime, Fura, Lystrada Duegos making their way to the safe zone already. I think they're going to be playing a very quiet game so far because right now I think it's more important for them to try to gain save points, let's put it that way, by focusing on placements here rather than trying to risk it all by going for an aggressive kill point strategy. And I think that's kind of a sound thing to do, especially when you're that close to getting eliminated before you get to the regionals.
Exactly that, and AKO, like you said, they just make it look easy. It's not necessarily the case when you're basically battling against some of the top dogs out there. Now he does manage to sniff out Kazu, but even with that initial shot, he does not get UB, and he still got that one in the bag. Now it's only down to Blank though, and what can he actually do? He's down to 40%. He's getting chased upon, and I don't see a way that QR can survive.
I mean, again, the Mag 7 is just so powerful. Like, oh my god, Blank getting slammed in the face there by a vehicle driven by Faiz. So, wow, that's just a literal hit and run going on there as AKO brings their third member into the fold. Now they run to eliminate the rest of QR. Only Kazu is left in the ground here, and they will take the kill lead. Thank you very much there, AKO on a roll.
That's right, just basically shoving back to her side of Illustrados, like, you can step aside, because, yeah, you got 3 points, I got more for now. Illustrados way goes start off on the great note because of the 2-pointers achieved by the squad overall, with 2 points backed by Fuher, the rest being secured by Yadop, the last I checked. QR only walked away with that first pointer that they did secure against AKO. Meanwhile, look at this area of play where I see 4 teams loitering around the outskirts of Rai, and this is relatively concerning, especially for Farong, who's kind of split apart right now. Like, they really have to keep themselves healthy and not be picked off by teams like GeekFan, who's still around the Korgusu Stadium.
Just feels like Farong tends to be a bit weak in the mid stages of these maps. We've seen it consistently, still able to fight, but I don't know whether it's just a matter of luck, because like, again, AV Radicals keeps jumping, hot jumping them all the time in every single map we've seen so far. But this time around, it seems like they've been given quite a bit of breathing room here, so that's allowing them to finally have a more standard match here. I hope they're making the full use of it though, because I don't really see a lot of equipment being picked up for their end. In the meantime, IJ already moving up. They're going to be closing in onto Geek Fam, who are now getting a nice bridge setup here that should help them if the next safe zone ends up on their side of the river. But Geek Fam just going to be staking a claim on this bridge right now, as we see Illustrator's Waco's just about made it to the next safe zone right now. And soon they're going to be locked in the battle with Geek Fam. The question is, do we want to take the pier or do we want to take the bridge? Because right now, with Geek Fam's position on the bridge, it can certainly bring a lot of fire down onto the pier, which has not a lot of cover.
No coverage at all, right?
Yeah.
Like, they just got to pick their poison for now, but at the very least, Geek Fam, they're not basically having their eyes turned all the way back, but for now, perhaps they will, because they will have to cut up in towards the northern section. Now, Geek Fam's not really in the best position to do so, because if they turn them back from where they came from, the side of the mouth, it's going to be hard for them to deal with the rest of IJ. Well, they have to cut across Farong as well as the hit. K9 now having Yusuf to secure that takedown. Too bad. Gone again.
Yep, not enough time to put up a glue wall there for Too Bad, so too bad for him, I suppose. Nevertheless, for K9 Meta, we haven't really seen much out of them so far. Now they've already been able to get 2 kills, and they haven't been in too much trouble in this early stage. Axis, in the meantime, found, I think, what's Freedom Rumble here. Oh, sorry, EWG Pando, and right now it's just setting up some glue walls, trying to create a maze of maneuverability here that they want to try to force EWG into an unfavorable position. But Monito is holding a good position by the garage here. Waits to see for the flank. He was anticipating this coming out of the side there, and he already has his sights straight much. Does get 6 grab down on the ground right now as the rest of EWG tries to put in more, but Neptune brings in a good grenade shot, putting down Monito right now as Flame 7 holds position by the top side here, is able to take down one, but can they finish up the rest though? EWG, where's the rest of them though? Monito taken out of the game right now. I think it's going to be Jace on the outside trying to save Neptune, but watch out, on the other side is Flame 7 with a shotgun, and again, shotgun beats AR every single time.
And AV Radicals are wrapping things around. They were taking that battle inside of UAV zone, and there's not much time for reset. Can Axis get out of this mess in time? And speaking of which, here comes Dooms! He's gonna shred them all to pieces, and Neptune, he's only got so little left. Still has a little bit of HP to ring around, but those blue walls will not hold out forever. And Neptune, he's just trying to pull this one into safety. He brings another member of the AV Radical down on the ground, but it's still not enough.
I don't know whether it's a glue wall and igloo that he tried to build over there.
I think it's an igloo by then.
Pretty much, but not fully covered though, unfortunately. There was one little opening that AV Radicals was able to exploit. Now Manchai is the last member remaining of EWG, and already putting out glue wall busters. They want to flush him out completely. Now he's forced to move out of position. Now they know exactly where he is, up in the first floor. They're just waiting by the door, waiting for him to come down and come out. What a trap they've just set here for EWG, because now there's no way for him to get out.
Not at all, and he does have a little bit more shells to work with, and Manchai, at least he will be able to get one corner back before he bows out. So, consolation prize for EWG. Meanwhile, there's more scores to be settled here between K9 as well as Geek Fam. Over on the south side, though, they don't really have much time to wiggle with, so they really got to settle the scores real quick. The lead and the rest of K9, they're setting into this position. They're not really revealing themselves just about yet. Hazik planning to strike, but he doesn't seem to get those pickoff points yet.
Oof, the UAV path just misses the 2 teams there, but no information conceded from either side, but it's still locked in battle right now. Kazik getting a shot on Delete, can't quite land enough there to get him knocked down, but Delete's just burning all of his blue walls right now to regroup with the rest of his squad, and I think they're going to try to peel out of this. No sense for them to try to hold position here unless they're able to get a knockdown, which he just did onto Apis, so maybe it might be an opening here that K9 Meta can try to take advantage of here, but Geek Fam is already ready to meet them in battle here as McCoy gets himself in front, watches the side there. Hazik goes in front there, jumps right on top of him. Ooh, glue wall's coming out just in time to keep McCoy in the play.
What a swift move coming in from McCoy, and now here comes Hazik coming in with the jump. over in the back. McCoy won't be able to last all too long, though. But they still have a few more to rely on. Now, Delete gets sniffed out as well. Only with the top turner, but what else can he possibly do?
Nothing.
When GeekFab goes out for the hunt.
And once you have the Barrett 50 cal, all you just need is one shot, and it does burst right through glue walls as well. That's nothing to consider. So as many blue walls you can put down, the Barrett can still pierce right through them. Jambal right now has a glue wall that gets breaking down. He puts out one just in time though, but Tanamo is continuing to pressure onto this member of Farang, sending on a glue wall buster here. AB Radicals now trying to find a good way to get around this solar array here that's providing a bit of cover that Farang Jambal is able to use here to keep himself in play. So AB Radicals sending one member around here, trying to see if they can open up a flank, but the rest of Farang are regrouping as well. They want to try to take on this fight. It's been so many times now that both of these squads have been meeting up each other. This is going to be the last one for them, for sure.
That's right, and Heavy Radicals have already secured 5 corners apiece for themselves, as compared to, you know, bound out early this time. They really want to get back to the rest of Farang, but it seems like Jesmu won't be able to get those angles against him. His head's about to pop out, and once he does, this AWM is going to be hitting him hard. Zenopedo getting more and more of these numbers back for AKO as they regain that kill leader title.
I think they found another member of QR there, so having a
money
place.
there.
Another Trouble comes out. Tanamo is going to be taking some frost damage there, while Tanamo 1 continues sending more Troubles down Farang's way. Is that going to be enough damage? Oh, look at the 2-1. Very aggressive, uses his shotgun to take down Jetsu. Tries to take on Jembo, but look at it, just struggling, trying to find the angle there. But like that, he will be able to take on Jembo and Jetsu as well. Oh, but Farang still in play, I think, because one of the members might have slipped out of the way, but AB Radicals wins it out yet again.
Literally took everyone through his own hands, and man, I think like that's the sweetest revenge that AB Radical 1 has managed to basically fend off against the rest of Farang. And now, GeekFam, they've been in this position before, where they're playing from the outskirts, and H2G, they don't really have the manpower to basically last out if they were to go full sending onto their squad for now. Batman, though, he's trying to hold on, and Asta, you saw what was in his hands. He's got a M72 grenade launcher. He's ready to strike.
Oh boy, yep, he's already trying to line it up right now, but the thing is, GeekFam has a favorable position because there's still one more building inside the safe zone that's closer to them, so no matter what, H2G very much at a disadvantage. The best bet is to try to get a knockdown of one of the members GeekFam somewhere, but it's going to be quite the hard ass. In the meantime, still a 3-way battle. Okay, no, it's going to be a 2-way battle now. It's the QR meant to peel off of that. ITX and AKO fighting up in the top side here, closer to blue zone. Yanel going out there to try to get some additional loot before inevitably colliding with them. In the meantime, H2G storming in the front here against GeekFam. Yasa attempting to try to hold the front here, but Hazik wraps around there trying to find that member. H2G gets a shot on him, hard to get. Bows out at 6th position.
And Hazik just pops off right there. He just knew that there's only so little members left inside the compile, but that has also alerted the rest of AV Radicals over the top end of the hill if they decide to turn it around against the rest of GeekFam. But there's not much time though. Like, they just basically have to secure themselves into the area play. And mind you, there's basically a lot of open spacing here, so whatever goal walls they really have to save up minimum. He spots all these stragglers up ahead, and AKO are kind of stuck.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck in the rock and a hard place right now. They're going to have to fight it out with ITX, and ITX doing a number of them, while AV tries at the distance there. The pressing fire is actually helping AV Radicals a little bit, but ITX also bringing in some fights with their own. Unfortunately, one last shot there by QR. It's going to be able to take out a member. Newbie is out for the count there for AKO, so that means only one member of AKO looks like. Ah, no, Remel 1 finds him there. Good shot there to take out Mr. T, and that's AKO out for the count. No more left for them, as now 3 teams remain in that final circle.
And everybody just line up for him, including ITX that got in the middle of the crosshair as well. And it's just basically freebies overall for the side of AV Radicals. This is their round to catch back up. GeekFam now in the top 3 as well. QR will fall down. Only one member left. What can they do? And you just have this whole squadron attack coming out of AV Radicals, 11-pointer. They're about to make it to our team.
Wow, when AV Radicals rains down that lead, it seriously pours. Look at the way they're just suppressing QR there, trying to take out Hyper. Now they managed to get a little bit of a lull here as Geek Fam is starting to get into the mix as well, shooting from a distance right now. This is where Alpine's kind of like a mixture of elements here really makes it so you need to have good people who are able to shoot from a distance. Now Blank is back up alive, but for now he's still stuck on the outside. Hyper already made his way into the cabin. The only solid piece of cover that is here inside this circle right now. AV Radicals as well as Geek Fam still stuck on the outside. Y1 gets caught out by a shot there by Geek Yasa on the AWM, and Snapdragon continues to bring pressure onto Blank and Hyper as well. Now he's going to be forced to bring out a healing. Wild Twos is going to be coming around to try to flank him on the right hand side. Tries to get some shots through the cabin. Can't get the angle though, so he hides behind the glue wall. But as they're doing that, Geek Fam is already inching ever so close towards QR's position right now. So they're going to weak. Oh, good shot there with a grenade from QR. That's already putting Geek Fam with a little bit of a tough spot right now as more glue wall busters get sent out by AV Radicals to try to break down whatever bit of cover they try to use inside the cabin here. Tsunami 1 has a grenade launcher, but can't he find a good angle here to make use of it because QR is very low. Nice shot there. Blank is already down. Hyper trying to hold his own, but now he's not able to save his teammates. Tsunami 1 takes out him with a kill.
And that's 13 coming out for AV Radicals. They just have full confidence. But the pure numbers, Hazik's going to bow out as well. Reactions down to Geek Fam, but they will be left with none. AV Radicals find themselves their booyah.
The first booyah of the group stage for AV Radicals, and despite the fact that these guys and girl have been literally killing it in, as far as like the competition is concerned, this is finally the only time we've ever seen them get the booyah, and boy, they're certainly celebrating that achievement there. And wow, that's so cool.
Wow, amazing work, and AV Radicals, they worked so hard for this moment. Not only did they manage to get their revenge on Farah, they have been able to seal the deal, and my oh my, like, it's just non-stop fights that they've been taking, and they were so proactive in this map itself. Like, I think like that golden moment was when the rest of ITX and also the rest of AKO line up all together. It makes things so much easier for Armel and also the rest of the team to be able to do wonders to farm those stack of points.
I know, right? I mean, again, it's just perfect setup for them, because for them it was shooting fish in the barrel, just laying on so many shots in that direction, just hoping that, you know, some damage will be done and maybe get a knockdown or two. But certainly they didn't expect that that would be so effective, I think, because that just eliminated two very strong teams from that final circle. And you know, with the last two squads left there, it was easy pickings for AV Radicals after that point. Yeah, look at this again. It just lined it up for them, and you know, they were so distracted with that close quarter fight here that they really had no angle to work with as far as like dealing with the third parties, just shooting them the distance. And oh yeah, again, so easy there for too easy really for AV Radicals. And I think that's a unique feature about this map here in particular in Alpine, because what I noticed is that teams that collide with each other to do this close quarter battle always get third party by someone no matter what. So I feel that the openness of this map combined with like certain you know, elements on the map that allows you to have those close quarter battles, you really have to be very careful about your decisions, because again, when you're too focused on one or the other, it's so easy for a third party to just mess up your entire game plan.
Exactly that, and overall I think they've finally been able to hit not only the booyah, but the highest points achievable through the day. 28 points, even topping off the performance that AKO had in that previous round. And AKO, this time they only walk away with 16. And I just love the way that they took fights, especially against the members of Axis Esports, where they were handling another team. They saw that UAV zone, and it's like, okay, guys, there's a team right there. Let's just full send it. And they've definitely got those partners back. And from there, it was a great ramp up. Like those 16 pointers that they've accumulated was sure team effort, and we saw how well they positioned themselves. They closed in from all angles, making sure that there's not much room for the the rest of Geek Fam to even breathe out.
Yeah, and while Cataclysm Index and Quick Reactions finally seem to have woken up quite a bit in this map now, they get 13 and 12 points respectively, but conversely, Axis really dropped the ball here. What happened? Only managed to net a total of 3 kills in this round here, but no placement points whatsoever. And AB Radicals, they've certainly been putting themselves up there. It's only finally in the closing moments of this group stage that we're finally able to see them get their first booyah of the competition. 7 headshots, 7,000 plus damage. I mean, these guys have certainly been putting in great performances, and finally it's netted them that booyah.
Exactly, and this is something that's been lying in the wait for so long. We knew for a fact that AV Radicals have every opportunity to be able to secure that, but every single round that they play, it's always about crazy volumes of kills that they could basically secure for themselves, and also placements. Even on that past round, when we were seeing them play a couple of games inside of Alpine, where they've been able to make a good performance to ensure themselves to be locked in for a top 4 position. So I think like whatever numbers that they've managed to accumulate throughout the course of this Group A action, they've already done the best they could.
Exactly, and the best as they could is what they need right now, because there's no longer going to be any matches for them to run. So, what points haul they can get on this day itself is going to be the best they could do here to put themselves up on that leaderboard. But certainly, AB Radicals right now, I think that's going to keep them heads and shoulders above Farang for sure. I mean, despite the fact that we had multiple instances where they hot drop each other, I wonder actually, now that I think about it, whether or not it's AV that was hot dropping Farang or Farang that was hot dropping AV, because looking at that last map there, they seem to have split up there, and AV Radicals wasn't pursuing them. So I kind of think that they just basically had the same idea as far as looting went. They wanted to perhaps drop on those high value kind of like loot spots there, and just so happened that AV Radical was also having that same plan.
Exactly, and I think like we're gonna be able to at least get a little bit more of a fresh new perspective once we do switch into different groups heading into our final 2 games. But oh boy, Group A definitely have offered. Same goes to Group C, especially on these past 2 rounds in particular. It was explosive, and I enjoy every single moment of it.
Exactly. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well, because now that we are going to be saying goodbye to Group A and Group C as well, B and D are going to be coming up next here, and these guys kind of be sidelined a little bit throughout this competition. But nevertheless, I digress though. We're going to be jumping into an interview right now with AV Radicals, so let's go ahead and check out what the BM casters are up to.
So can I know what's the strategy behind always acquiring blue zone? I mean, like, is it like your strategy, or is it like one of your strategy?
It's our strategy actually.
So is it like you guys will always go for blue zone no matter what, or sometimes you guys might change?
We might change if the drop is too long.
Just like the another map. So my next question to you. So like, if not mistake, you are one of the only team that use double sniper. So we can see that your strategy is always to take long fight, not going to be a close fight. So is this like the strategy that you guys want to implement, or this happen without any thinking?
It's a strategy that we want to implement.
All right. So to Tanamo. So maybe anything that you want to say to your fans, or maybe to AV Radicals in general.
To those who are still supporting us until now, thank you very much, and just keep supporting us. Will always make you proud.
But last question to you.
World Series.
Are you confident in World Series, and are you confident to be in top 3 in this SPS to qualify to the next stage?
You should always be confident to bring out your skills.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tanamo, and good luck for your future tournaments.
absolutely love Tanamo on his very stoic response. Like he doesn't show so much expression, but in game, like the rest of AV Radicals, they're just complete different beasts.
I know, right? And that's something to be said about, you know, having a leader who's like straight to the point, you know, doesn't really fluff around, doesn't beat around the bush much, knows exactly what needs to be done every single round. And I mean, the fact that Tanamo brings up so much, you know, it's just you know, despite the stoicness, has a lot of confidence in hand as well. It's certainly really good traits here for AV Radicals. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and shout out our sponsors here, ladies and gentlemen, because this Free Fire challenge wouldn't have been possible without the support of Snapdragon Elite Gaming for when winning matters, and also for Monster Energy because they've been unleashing the beast together with us throughout the Snapdragon Pro Series here. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And when you run out of credits there in your favorite games there, whether it be mobile or PC, check out kachishop.com/my because you'll be able to get great deals and great discounts for your next top up. So now that we're saying goodbye to groups A and C, it's now up to groups B and D to see whether or not they'll be able to catch up on that leaderboard. So we're going to be taking a break, but when we're back, the final 2 matches here in this group stage for the SBS Free Fire, we'll see you guys after the break.
Sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making them play. The game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot. I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align. No shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look. You won't stop my shine. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. Take us down. Keep fighting.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me. How I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Snapdragon Pro Series. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Contra. We're here to bring you guys the final 2 matches for today and the final 2 matches of the group stage. In fact, now it's going to be Group B versus Group D. And boy, now that Group D has already taken a 2-round break here, now we're going to be asking them to come back to do some more work to get themselves higher up on that leaderboard here. So it's still going to be Purgatory, it's still going to be Alpine. We're still going to be expecting to see a lot of third partying happening throughout this competition as well as the next 2 matches to go here. But now that we're going to be coming in with these 2 separate squads here, who do you think is going to be standing a good chance of dominating these final 2 matches here?
Final 2 matches, man, you're putting me on the spot right now. And this is really going to be tough for me to really figure out who exactly is going to be the one that will be able to make out of the groups. And not only that, to be able to compete really well, especially going into those challenge stages where there's going to be a lot more of all these great teams just waiting up ahead. So I really do wonder, you know, who's going to be the top dog of the tournament? I think like you guys might have actually had some answers already. But let's take a look at the overall standings to find out more.
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm expecting to still see AKO or auto knockout 203 points. Oh, it's over. It's over, guys.
It's over. When they have to shrink your kill score into a different font, you know it's done. It's done. They've already qualified to the next stage. Then they don't really have much to worry about. But AV Radicals, that was such a huge performance from them from that previous round that I would safely say that they could basically miss out on 1 full day and they won't be contested.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe Axis will just climb up, but you're still safe.
You're still, it's still so safe. I mean, it's like, what, 31 points between them and Axis Esports. So even if they have a monster round and AV Radicals gets none, yeah, even losing out that 1 round still is not going to be enough for Axis Esports to take over that 2nd spot. So you can tell why Tanamo was just so confident in this competition right now, because they know they've already done enough already in this group stage. But speaking of the rest of the squads here, Expand still in that 4th spot. But let's go ahead and go all the way down right now to 12th spot. Hard to get, 107 points. No Escape RV finally gets dropped into the 2nd page there, and in spite of the fact that they had a lot of placement points, they haven't really matched that in terms of kill points right now. So they sit at 105 points. Bloody Heads right now 104. So I think these 3 are probably like the favorites right now to get that final slot into the regionals.
Exactly that. And remember this, Bloody Heads have not been able to play any of these games for the entirety of the day. Now we finally get them some action for the upcoming 2 rounds. So there is opportunities for not only them, but also No Escape RV to basically chase up like you just said. So I really do wonder if we really stack up all these scores all together 2 rounds. Meaning to say, there's no fumbles, we're not going to be seeing them commit minor mistakes that could basically cost them. But when it comes down to some of all these groups, it has always been a little bit chaotic. Now that there's also NC involved, I don't think it's any easy for these teams. And not forgetting Expand when you have Cobra always out for the hunt.
That's why. I mean, they're still going to be suppressing a lot of those lower rung teams there with the level of aggression that they're able to bring, and they've certainly been the favorites so far in Group B for sure. But then let's not forget K9 Esports, Paragon Spartans, RSX, KTP, Bloody Hits, and Warlords. These guys are no slouches as well in this competition. It's just that unfortunately, due to the way things have turned out in this group stage, they're still left struggling to try to get themselves into that second page. But for now, you know, Bloody Heads, NC, Expand, these guys are going to be standout and people to watch, I think, when it comes to the competition. Yeah, as I said, Team Juke as well. You know, it's been kind of a middling performance, I think, for them so far, despite the fact that, you know, early on they were able to play to get themselves, you know, into that first page, you know, by virtue of having 2 booyahs. But it just goes to show that it's still, at the end of the day, you need to have those kill points. I was looking at that leaderboard right now, and I counted, and I looked, I think it was out of this 12 who are in the first page, I think 9 teams actually have more kill points than placement points.
Exactly, and I think like there's just so much of this deficit that they were suffering through some of all these rounds that Team Juke, they've shown us a lot of great work, and then they've went out for many of all these early game scuffles, and it has hurt them so much. Bloody Hits, Expand, I think like these 2 teams are definitely showing great records overall. Expand are already safe. Bloody Hits, not so much. So if they really do have to make the cut, they have to at least secure a bare minimum of 20 points to close out the 2 rounds. Or could it be enough? Actually, 20 points. I'm really thinking like you need maybe a little bit more than that.
I think you definitely need to aim a little bit more higher, because even if you don't meet that like eventual target, at least getting to there should be able to net you some points, you know, to keep you on that first page. But really, I think right now, especially given that things coming to a close, it's really between those 3 teams, right? No Escape RV, Bloody Heads. They really need to try their very best to suppress the other teams there to maintain, you know, that closeness to that 12 spot, because remember, it's the top 12 teams that move on to the Open Finals and that regionals. So, you know, even though we sing praises about the top teams in Group A, like AB Radicals, teams like Auto Knockout as well, but now it's going to be up to, it's going to be up to the B squad, the other tier teams now to step up to the plate and, you know, show that it can still have the capability to challenge these top teams.
Exactly that, and overall, I think we've already had Expand to be running rampant across the map to be able to secure themselves a lot of all these early numbers, so teams that may not have that sort of confidence will need to be on the lookout. So for those of you guys back at home, I'm pretty sure that you guys have your own opinions to share as well. Why not just head over to Twitch chat and basically cast your vote in the Snapdragon match predictions, and who knows, you might just actually win yourself a lot more of all these points in Twitch.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe. Again, like I would just vote just for that, you know, just for the Twitch points itself. So, but then for you guys, especially supporters of the squads here, you know, go ahead and vote in your support, because these teams really enjoy the support that the fans have been able to bring, and that just adds extra motivation for them in order to perform their very best right now. And speaking of the very best, now we're coming down to brass tacks here, ladies and gentlemen, coming into Purgatory one more time, the last time for today. And we can see very even spread throughout. I don't see any hot drops other than Jukes and FRU at the moment, because they literally landed right next to each other, and now they're going to be engaged in open battle with Kai already taking so much damage. Duxky is going to be coming in front. He's going to watch out for Dancy on the other side. He didn't see Danny's Zed, and unfortunately he gets knocked down.
If you actually check those corners, he could have actually caught Danny out first, but because of him running around the open, it was just tunnel visioning. It just cost the Team Juke an early opportunity against FRU. one pointer is enough for them to become the clear leader for now, but we'll definitely see whether if there's going to be any more changes. And this whole lumberyard is just a little bit of a scuffle going on with even our Expand being very up close and personal. So we're going to see whether or not will they be able to strike. Lei just moving around with what I would call a tuk-tuk.
It is a tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
It actually is a tuk-tuk.
And yeah, of course, it looks a little flimsy. Doesn't really give you much protection, but it gets you where you need to be. That's the most important. And Team Juke, they just retreated, and now we're going to see Expand securing one for themselves.
I wonder, right now I'm only seeing 11 teams on the map. I wonder if there's one team that didn't manage to come in time, or did they get eliminated just off camera or something? This is a bit weird.
It feels like you're not around because like FRU has gotten the first blood, and they were killed in first attack,
Right.
so it wouldn't make sense if they were to be eliminated. But Seiya though, on the lower end of the hill, ORV now getting all tagged up. Oh, there's a little bit of civil war going on, and Jibbat's going to be able to strike first. But he's going to be surrounded eventually.
That's a problem when you're meeting up against a fellow clanmate, right? Is that you guys have the same resources, you guys have the same kind of game plans. Kind of likely that, you know, in these kind of fights that you know exactly what the other side is going to be doing at the same time, right? But I think Tyrants definitely did make the most of their positioning there, because now it looks like X-Men are just going to be forced to try to get a revive back up. They do get their members up, but Tyrants continue to be a tyrannical against their sister team here by constantly bringing shots onto shots. He's already down halfway through, and he's trying to escape out of the way there while God Rush rushes in to try to force the issue here and hopefully get another kill point in the bag.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get a glimpse of that, and straight to the back he goes. Bruce really get himself one more point. And Tyrants, he can basically hope for this soul member to go and reset. Dazzly's only got double revolvers, but he's going to be able to bring one more back down. Dazzly will still fall though.
Oh man, just trading one after another, so you know, still net zero in the end though, but I think that is enough from Tyrants there to gain those couple of eliminations there to keep themselves in play. Well, in the meantime, X-Men just running for the hills right now. No sense for them to keep holding position there. Now he's going to try to get some revenge on the Seiya. That's a good shot there, putting him down halfway, forcing him to take cover, but then now the other members are just going to be suppressing him on there, and good shot. Jens down for the count.
Quite a long-range shot coming in from God Rush, and that should be able to at least secure themselves a half the amount of points, and that's already 5 being backed up by Tyrants. Remember this, they were basically chasing for that top 12 spot before they were taking that break, and this will basically put themselves for time, and he's going to be able to farm those numbers again. Those SMGs put into good work. Damon secures their first point for Team Juke.
Okay, it does seem apparently like one of the K9 teams is not in the running here right now. So that means I can't tell whether right now it's K9 Meta or K9 Esports. I think it's K9 Esports that sorry, no, I think it's K9 Meta actually that didn't join in this last round. So kind of unfortunate. I would love to see all the teams be involved in this final round, but then again, circumstances may not be that favorable for them anyway. Nevertheless, though, No Escape RV now locked in the battle with Warlords, and Warlords has control over this side of the river, while the rest of No Escape try to escape across the bridge. Their phase is going to be holding position, but now it's been spotted out by Paul. Invoker is going to be flanking him on the other side, and I mean, that's definitely going to be a dead phrase, but he's just basically playing delaying tactics there, so that will allow his teammates to run away. And unfortunately, it doesn't quite gain any elimination points anyway, just concedes another one here to Warlords.
Seems like he couldn't delay the inevitable, though. Like, we're going over on the side of Bloody Hits, where they've been hoping to secure those pointers in, but this is a bunker that RSX are basically hiding out in. If there's any grenades, and this is going to spell doom for the rest of RSX, though. But just waiting for Morgana to take a little close peek, and they should be ready to send hills of bullets on their way. Chassis just waiting for the right moment, and they're going to be throwing a little bit more of that buster, and I don't see that they will be able to deter the rest of the hits on this pursuit to go in for a push. But to see Diffusal running in for a push. beings.
Putting it out preemptively, trying to prevent him to use glue wall. Unfortunately, just going to burn out, and Morgana still puts up glue walls anyway, so Bladehead's just pushing the front down and going up to the doorway. Chelsea taking a lot of damage, and he's going to be knocked out now. Bloodyhead's working this very, very well. Unfortunately, they're going to be locked inside here. Glue wall, unfortunately, preventing him from being able to take shot onto Roz, who runs away with the McLaren 720S. They're still trying to shoot at him, but unfortunately, exposing himself to the fire coming out for Konito, and Konito now runs away here, trying to split up the rest of Bloodyheads. Unfortunately, he's going to be caught out by Morgana right by the doorway, so that's another kill point going the way of Bloodyheads.
The Master Secure Tree, they leave one just to leave a little bit more reminder, but K9, they're already on another engagement with Freedom Rumble pushing up towards the top end of the Sniper's Nest, and we'll be having some clips make sense towards the side of Superman. He does not have a cape to fly though. Uzi now brings it up close with the shotguns, and Superman will eventually fall. Freedom Rumble trying to battle it way out, and we'll see it will be knocked down ahead. K9, he's making magic work for him, and there's only one member of K9 standing in the way.
Yep, and if he's taken down, that's going to be the end of K9 Esports, taken out at 11th place right now. FRU getting 5 elimination points. That's a lot of points for them. The next circle is going to land on top of NC, ORV Tyrants, Bloodyheads, and even ORV X-Men are getting themselves back in, getting the buyback onto Jabat, Jazzy GG, so they're still in play right now. Expanse making their way up southwards. They're going to be able to gatekeep No Escape a little bit from that side, but Warlords have an opening on the bridge there to try to make their way towards Brasilia, as well as Expanse very much focused on trying to take on CNs. In the meantime, it's NC going to do here with 2 ORVs teams on either side of them. It looks like a 3-way battle might just be forming on the northern side of the circle.
Yeah, and many a times we've already seen the circle to be hanging around the areas of the fields, and some teams are getting a lot more familiar with this form of rotation, and they're just hoping for those pickups on the outskirts. Warlords, now they're also getting a little bit more of an idea of some of all these teams. We have Shens, who's currently alone. Shea's not going to be around to basically give him any form of help, and they should not spend too long though. Like, this is not going to be all too safe for them because they are also running towards the direction of Team Juke, where Shia is currently at. So Team Juke, they're going to be meeting up with some of the members of RSX as well.
Yeah, a couple of them dropping literally right on top of where Jukes is. So let's see whether or not they'll be able to make this next battle work out for them, because, you know, I wanted to highlight actually during that last battle they had against Bloodyheads that Jukes seems to be very much a team made up of soloists. It kind of feels like they don't really cover each other well, having a buddy system or something like that to ensure that, you know, they're going to go get caught out. NC in the meantime, though, getting a good shot against Jazzy GG. And with Asta using the Max 7, will be able to take him out completely. Diffuse in the meantime, getting a long shot against Cacular. So Warlords as well, facing a lot of pressure there to lose one more member. I'm happy trying to run across there. He's going to get caught out on the outside. Duxie lands the shots now, just going to go ahead, put the hurt, and delete him off the map.
Juke now farming those numbers, and they definitely have been hoping for this for the longest of time. But there's not really much wiggle room to play with. Juke should be able to get that revive down on the outskirts and then hit right back in. Phrase caught out by the rest of ORV, but looking to find that pen with the XM gun in hand. It's just going to be able to seal the deal for now. 3 pointers in for the rest of ORV. While Bloodyheads will be able to cop another one in the back, and then go in, locking horns against the rest of Warlords. Now Joss gets to tell the time turner, and he will get those shells directly on his face. Just needing one more bullet to do the trick, and they will. But Bloodyheads, they falter to the hands of Invoker.
What the heck just happened there? It looked like it was going to be their fight to lose there, and they lost it completely. Paul with the double kill on that Max 7 again. I still contend it's so broken, that shotgun, because it seems like anyone holds it in hand wins it out. Jukes experiencing so much pressure. Never expands with a double kill coming in from X-Roy that seals their fate right now as it gets deleted off the map.
They just run right into the shacks. Like, this is what I don't know who put a welcome sign on this trailer. Nobody. But they said, you know, like, I'm just gonna move right in, and immediately they get vacated out. So not the best side that we've seen out of the rest of Freedom Rumble, but it's okay. Never mind that. They still have one more round to spare later on. Well, with NC, who are so familiar with these heals, the last time they played across the fields, they have won.
Yeah, let's see whether that works out. In the meantime, RSX bumped into ORV. X-Men, I think, is right now trying to run away. And then 720S, there's no cover at all for Roz, and he's caught out on the open there. No weaponry to work in that distance. Unfortunately for him, as Dino tries to go for a flank around the rocks here, but Yazid's going to try to mold him in place there. Void Face gets knocked down. Dino now will try to get some shots in, but then still, Dino will be the one credited with the kill, actually. So, well, a bit too slow maybe on the trigger finger, but nevertheless though, RSX continuing to bring more hurt there onto ORV. Jabat, last man standing there and looking very low. Juanito gets the kill down to the Justly GG. Now Jabat running for dear life, but no! Shiaisi gets him down, takes him out. Oh boy, things are looking so bad for RV right now because the rest of RSX are moving in onto the last member's position.
Well, at the very least, RSX have shown tremendous improvements. Now, Axel's going to be popping on the crosshair again on the kill feed, securing double points for himself. And Gatruz, he's just waiting for the right time to strike, and he spots out the rest of the members of NC. Just to correct myself, NC did not get that Booyah, but they got the most points in one of these rounds across the fields. And they've been able to basically utilize the Spanish point. That's a great one from Dino. Another day to seal the deal, but he's getting pushed and pulled all across the side. But he will bring the Tyrants down.
Again, Max 7 saving his life there. The G3, I think, is a favorite AR, just simply from the fact that individual shots from that does a lot more damage compared to other ARs. So even though you have like a limitation in magazine size, the damage just makes up more for it, especially in you're engaged in those close quarter battles where just one shot being missed can mean the difference between life or death.
Exactly that, and these players know it all too well. Expando, they're going on a rush, and how much could Warlords could possibly pull up from this time around? Cobra! He's going to be turning all around, and this is where he will clear the sector, leaving only Paul as well as Invoker behind. But they've won the trades before. Can they do it again?
Yeah, gotta watch out for troubles coming in from Roy. And Roy also has a grenade launcher as well, but they don't need it. Invoker just meets him straight to the face with the back 7. Nowhere for him to run no more as he tries to hold position right now. Invoker, does take down the Axel in the meantime though, so they are still able to hold their own somewhat, and Expanse actually finding themselves on the losing end of this battle, but Invoker still is only the last member left. If they just take him out, they will win this outright. Now they're trying to break through the glue walls while ORV X-Men gets himself taken out by Juanito. Yet again, pulling another good shot. In the meantime, X too fast, finding that all the cover just falls apart for him. It's way too fast for him. And with that last shot there on Evoker, Warlords gets taken out at 5th place.
And all thanks to the Buster, they have managed to bring the Invoker down. Chelsea, though, he's going to be able to get himself a little bit more of a coverage time. And he still needs to run right in, but he's hoping to find Sha. Now he's going to be just across the corners of the wall, but Chelsea has already got the wraparound. Instead, he gets dropped, and Sha still managing to live by a hair strand. And it's only 19 HP, but that grenade is being lobbed right in. How much more can the EXP actually get out of this? And Expand will crash out.
Man, I was kind of rooting for him. I was hoping he'll be able to make it to the safe zone in time because he's just so close to that piece of cover. Just maybe one more little glue wall maybe could have saved him there. But nevertheless, though, we're coming down to 3 teams here. NC having 3 members, X-Max having 2, and RSX having only 1.
Juanito just lurking around the back. I don't think anyone will check that angle. He could be torn in the flesh, not only for NC, but also for the side of Expand. Now here comes the early push coming from Yazid. And too fast, he finds Juanito already, so consider him out.
Yep, and NC now moving in rapidly to try to wrap around X-Roy. I think X-Roy is going to be caught out by this maneuver here as he tries to move away. Blue wall keeping him alive for a little bit. Yazid, consequent shot, doesn't get him in time though. Puts up the blue wall to block him out in this corner while Dino tries to find an opening. While Too Fast on the outside tries to keep NC off his teammate. He's the last hope for them, unfortunately, because his teammate gets taken down. Now Too Fast is going to be fighting in a 1v3 here. Oh, he does get down. Yes, it just in time. Now we just need to watch out for Nafis and Dino, who are still inside the house. Blue wall buster going to be busting down walls a little bit fast, but Too Fast puts out the glue wall just in time. Triple kill for him so far. Can he still hold out though? He's the last man standing. NC still has 2.
He's trying to heal up. Does he have time? He only had 2 seconds left. The push are coming right on, but he will get a little bit more of a wiggle room as he tried to do a ring around the Rosie, but that circle is already closing right in, and he does land a little bit of nade. And now Fizz, can he seal the deal? It's only one man standing away, but too fast. He is relentless.
Oh, he's just keeping contained inside the house right now, just flying on the edges. Oh, one shot by Nafis puts an end to that fight right now, and that's a booyah being picked up by NC.
The masters of the field, NC, have finally sealed their very own booyah on their second try right here in Purgatory. And my, oh my, NC, they just got this perfect formula to basically close off the games around the region of the map, and you can see them flexing their jerseys across the screen.
Oh man, that's just beautiful here from NC. We have not seen a booyah from them all competition long, but today I think the last day seems to be a day of firsts for some of these squads here. AB Radical getting their first booyah, now NC finally putting a booyah next to their name after stellar points performances in those last maps here. So well done NC.
Yeah, overall I think like today itself they've gotten so much out of, you know, so little rounds that this team just continues to impress us time and time again. But, you know, like for now, NC, they will basically climb perhaps even enough to take out AV Radicals, who's currently sitting at number 2. But we definitely have to tabulate the scores. And not only that, we keep a close eyes on Bloody Hits. They did very well until they stumbled and fell in that close quarter combat.
Yeah, and again, remember, you know, those guys are on the verge of being eliminated from competition, still being on that second page. So I really hope that when we see the leaderboards again, that we have a clearer picture of how things are going to stand up. But, you know, you cannot really fault them, you know, for their performances, though, because it's just been brilliant all around for them in spite of the lack of results in those previous days. But finally, things are starting to come together very well for them. No Escape RV, I just wonder what exactly happened to them in this round here, because at certain points, you know, they are able to kind of go into good fights, but just didn't work out for them. And this last shot here by Nafis, I want to see how exactly he found the opening there. Yeah, look at that. Too fast. He was so focused on the guy on the other side of the doorway, he forgot that the window was still wide open. Nafis found that angle, put that in the last shot, and NC earned that booyah.
And honestly, with all these glue walls basically blocking his exit, there's no other way out anyway, so he just gotta fight it till the very end. But I think like he survived for quite some time, so kudos to that. Now, we do have the scores on our board. NC apparently ties the score and the record with Expand due to the fact that Expand have gotten more amount of elimination points, but RSX KTP, they definitely had some high-flying colors here with 15 pointers being backed up, Warlocks with 13, ORV Tyrants as well as X-Men, they both share 10 points apiece.
Yeah, it's actually a respectable performance from ORV and Warlords here. As far as the other side of the page goes, though, Freedom Rumble puts himself ahead of the other teams trying to get into the top 12 here. No Escape RV earning 7 points, putting them 2 points ahead of Bloody Heads, who only matched in net 5, which is the same amount of points as Team Juke. So right now, I mean, the battle's still heating up. It's still not quite done yet. We still have one more match to go here, and that could determine everything here for No Escape RV, Bloody Heads, and Freedom Rumble.
Yeah, and 5 points, I'm not too sure if that's gonna be enough, but these are damage that's enough to secure yourself a booyah, along with 10 headshots, and of course the maximal survival time overall coming in for the side of Expand. Like, it's not all about Cobra after all. Expand so far have shown us a lot of versatility on how they've been able to go in for those great trades, and man, love to see them in more of all these CQC battles.
Yeah, I'd love to see a lot more of that, to be honest, because like whenever they get into those really chaotic fights, even as a commentator as well, I just get excited because there's just so much happening on screen at the same time, isn't it? But nevertheless, though, NC finally putting in a performance that really should be highlighted here, because you know this team had kind of been on the sidelines, especially when we talk about the top teams in the competition, like AV Expands, the teams from MCP, for example. But right now, NC are just putting themselves on the map right now, and that's really exciting to see, because there's only one more match to go, one more chance for them to put good points on the board right now. But at the same time as well, that 12th spot still up in the air right now as far as I'm concerned, because it still can be anyone's opportunity to get into the regionals.
This is definitely a huge huge pie out there, but can only be shared by so little teams to even make it into the regionals overall. And I'm just hoping to see that one final game to have the best push possible from the teams that do need those necessary points. So with that said, I believe that it all boils down to, you know, a few names that we've already listed out, like No Escape, Bloody Heads. They didn't seem like they have those huge pointers as compared to NC.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you have to have balance in your performances in different aspects, you know. And you know, when I look at the difference between how like Team Juke, for example, took fights versus like a team like ORV or a team like Expand, for example, is that it's really suicidal sometimes to just move by yourself. And we saw that happen with Team Juke, where one of the members literally ran across the road, didn't check both sides, and got caught out because of someone that he didn't spot behind a wall, taking him out. And that's why it's important, I think, in battles to literally have a buddy to back you up, to kind of cover you should you decide to go for those aggressive moves. And I think that Jukes, maybe that might be the kind of problem Jukes is having. They don't really have a cohesive way of taking battles, you know, or communicating well with their teammates about what move they want to make. And we have individual members just making decisions like that. It kind of loses them the battle very quickly.
Exactly, a little bit more costly than what they have intended to achieve, though they did manage to eventually find a few of all these early pickoffs. So hopefully there's going to be signs of improvement heading to our very final game. But before we even do that, let's also catch a little bit of a breathing space, as me as well as Victor will be right back to bring you the final game of the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire for the night.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Thank you for staying with us through the quick break. And my name, once again, is Contra. Here with me is Victor Cax, as we've been having a whole lot of fun and lots of great booyahs here, along with Snapdragon Pro Series, bring you more and more of all these fine and great plays out of all these players across Southeast Asia, as we bring you more Free Fire action.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The final match for the day, B versus D on Alpine. And boy, I mean, let's just take a little bit of time to reflect on the journey that we had so far. I mean, the beginning of the group stages, we saw the rise of AKO, and then now we're finally coming to the last day. We're just going to be seeing who's going to be the final team to make it into the regionals right now. And you know, things have just been heating up so much. We've been seeing lots of firsts here today. Teams like AB Radicals and NC getting in first booyahs for the competition here. Auto Knockout still the standout so far. No one's been going to be able to touch them as far as the 200 total points is concerned. So really, we're going to be focused all the way down to the bottom right now, because Pando EWG, No Escape RV right now tied at 112 points. Bloody Heads 109, Hard to Get 107 points. So these guys, especially No Escape RV and Bloody Heads and Hard to Get, really need to pull out a standout performance in this final round so that they can make it to the regionals.
There's solo points differentiating some of all these teams here to get into position, and there's only down to this final game, and we'll see whether or not can Bloody Heads actually do it, because they were looking very on form, ready to take battles ahead of them, but they definitely jumped the gun real quick and eventually crashed out with only 5 points secured on the past round, needing at the very least what I'm looking at here seems like a 5-pointer. But remember, No Escape is still in the game, and there's just going to be a lot more to do in this matchup.
And I think for No Escape as well, because they had already a total of 69 place points, nice. That means that they can actually just focus more on kill points actually on this round, and potentially already have enough to keep themselves on that first page. Which means that for Bloody Heads and Hard to Get, the target for them is to meet 112 points. As long as they're able to get that, I think that will be enough to get them, 113 points. Yeah, they need one extra point in order to be able to get themselves up to that 12th spot. So that's the thing we need to see in this competition. I mean, I really don't care actually, to be honest, about who's going to be getting the top spot as far as like getting the booyah or the kill points. It's really about whether or not No Escape or Bloody Heads or Hard to Get. Who are these between these three? Who is the one who's going to get that 12th spot?
Exactly that, and we've already seen that No Escape got 1 foot at the doorway already, and they're in that perfect position just to secure themselves into, I don't know, like, we're just looking at them. If they really want to play a little bit more passively and just maybe get 3 points of kills and then run for, you know, a top 5 of the standings, that's sufficient enough for them to qualify itself. Meanwhile, Bloody Hits got to put in that work, got to basically grind. Same goes to Hard to Get, where all these sort of points don't come by for free, and there's just many of all these teams stopping them along these tracks, and they're just hoping that they're not lock horns with maybe teams like Expand early on and see who had such a phenomenal day. Like, there's just so little that you could do against these teams who just know how to pick their battles.
Yeah. And even for the teams actually that are, not having that chance here, I think it's still going to be a good opportunity for them to just get some points on the board anyway, because we're talking about the best teams right now in this region. And this is also kind of a test bed for them in a way to see where they stack up against these teams. So, you know, even though they're kind of out in the running, so to speak, right now this competition is probably the best opportunity for them to really test their might, you know, against some of the mighty squads in this competition. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping in for the last time here on Alpine as Bloody Heads and NC find themselves locked in the battle here. Dino getting caught in the outside here by Fiersu. He's going to rush him straight away. He knows that Dino is hurting right now, and he's going to force the issue onto them as he knows he's completely alone. No one around to save him at all, but the first blood gets stolen actually by Freedom Rumble. Nevertheless, Dino not going to be long for this world as Fiersu meets him up in the first floor, takes him down, takes him out, and that's going to be a kill point now for Bloody Heads.
First blood for Bloody Heads, and they still need a few more pointers for the last we need to count. Like, or could it be 5 points just to ensure that they're locked right in? But things are not looking all too clear yet for the rest of Freedom Rumble and Warlords, having Louis to bleed out. Though he did secure 2 takedowns against Freedom Rumble, it's still a dicey 2 versus 2 situation, especially now Danny's does have a little bit of peak advantage over on the top end of the container. Doesn't seem like there is much that they could basically trade out with, unless if Volker gets flanked.
Ooh. Yeah, unless he doesn't. He does get knocked down. Now Tacular is already a revive point, so he's going to be holding position there to try to get more. In the meantime, Expanse, we're locked up with ORV in this early stage here, and it looks like they actually beat ORV due to punch with Godroots on the ground, and Xtroid setting down his flag, telling him that, yep, this is our space now. Thank you very much.
Yep, just exerting dominance whenever you could. Expand. Well, they can basically do whatever they want, but we do see Paul coming back into the game and FRU ready to literally jump at them again. Jump 9, going up close and personal, no weapons to be found there, and Paul, he can run, but he can't hide.
Nowhere to run at all, even though we have an M60. It looked like it was on the verge of being able to fight back, but, you know, jumping in like that, you know, you have to get, literally hit the ground running, so to speak, and Paul, unfortunately, got himself caught out a little bit too long, so Warlord still not out of the woods yet, still continuing this fight here against FRU Freedom Rumble, but watch out, K9 Superman flying in from a distance here. Now he's getting into the mix right now. Kai jumping back in as well. He needs to get a weapon really quick because K9 is putting some pressure, becoming the third party in this fight. Now, well, Warlords probably can use this distraction right now to try to peel away, but looks like Tacular is still sticking around right now because he wants to be able to get some kill points back for his squad.
More players means more points, and they definitely want a lot of it.
Uh-oh.
Shots ran out of the open. I think he had the idea to go in for a little bit of save, but there's nothing much that he can basically do about that. Wusi now getting a little bit more of that pick, while there is a little bit of trade out coming from Necro. He doesn't seem to be able to land his shots against Danny. Now being popped out.
Well, he did that time. Danny now forced him to heal, and that's giving him the space now for Necro to go ahead and knock him down. But K9, he's waiting for the rest of the squad to come in, but looks like Freedom Rumble is going to be cutting their losses as their last member will be running away from the fight now as Danny's gets taken out here. So that's another kill point at K9's tally.
This is why I love final battles, Victor. Like, you see all hells break loose. You see teams committing to fights that they don't usually do. And we're about to get another one in the back. RSX about to get up close and personal with the rest of Team Juke. They're on the outskirts, and eventually Team Juke will try to negate them from cutting into the circle. But alongside the dock, I believe that there's plenty of loot for them to basically stack up to whatever that the rest of Team Juke does have to offer. So for the meantime, it definitely will be quite the safe space for them to basically take their time before they will get themselves into that engagement.
Yeah, so all good luck to them though, because Jukes really needs to try to put some last-minute performances here to, you know, to stake that claim really that is still one of the really top teams here in the MCP so far. I think in this group stage has really exposed a lot of their weaknesses, but then again, you know, it ain't over until the fat lady sings, so there might even be a chance here for them if they can just pull things together and get a good result to actually add one to another feather to their cap. But you see also NC starting to close in around here. In fact, we already have a member right around the outside. Chasey, he runs him over with that Jeep now, but he's going to be caught out in time turner, but he does get a knockdown anyway, though. Almost get a second one. Unfortunately, without much backup there, Chasey is just going to be taken out there. Tamewood just punches him out of the game there. Oh my goodness. That was certainly a bit of a shocking maneuver, but then again, if only he got the knockdown with that Jeep there, perhaps this fight could have turned out very, very bad for Team Juke.
Yeah, and if it was coming in 1 second later on, he could have basically run multiple members at once, who knows?
Yeah.
That could be a good possibility. RSX, though, they're on the outskirts. They're just hoping to pull through from quite a distance until some of the pressure subsides. Then they can basically regroup. NC have also attacked along the way. This carousel area have seen a lot of action from the early game where ability hits first initiated upon members of the side of NC. And up to now, NC has not been able to secure any form of points. Something that's not so likely for NC, despite them having a lot of all these early engagements for the past couple of rounds that they've been able to play. Now, on the other side of the map, we're seeing Warlords, RSX, Juke, and NC, they're just in close proximities. Eventually, they're bound to meet one way or the other.
And they're already crowding around the buy station, so they're just going to get extra loot as a result. While Juke Lei, I think, is going to be caught up here. Yazzie spots him out, forces him out the window. That's going to land him straight into his teammates there. So Lei gets taken out and taken down. Asta gets caught out in the distance as well. Things are falling apart rapidly here for Team Juke as the other two members will scatter right now, trying to recuperate or to recover this game for themselves right now. Let's see where the other teams stand, as it were. Bullyhead's already inside the safe zone. I think ORV Tyrants already made their way to the south side as well. I don't see the other. Oh yeah, the ORT team X-Men already be taken out. Sorry about that. But FRU looks like they're actually quite close to where Expanse is, and they're yet to get themselves to that circle. And I think that FRU may be encountering them very soon. In the meantime, NC continuing to shoot out against Jukes there, takes out yet another member. So only Duxky is the last person left here for Team Juke.
Bullyheads is in a really great position over the top end of the hill. The moment that the fights basically break loose over the top end, eventually they can turn party. They can also wait for some of these teams to wither down, and then they could basically pick a few points up, so they don't really have to make any form of rush. Expand came in from the very far western end. They shouldn't have any issues to eventually rotate into the circle, while certain other teams over the south side, they should be able to have a little bit of a safe haven. While RSX now will have to push through. Louis hoping to save his teammates, but he's going to be brought down. Instead, did he have the time to basically bring his teammates back?
No, I don't know, but it does seem like maybe at least one member has been brought back, but now RSX will be able to bring back Chiaisi, so this is actually working out better for RSX compared to Warlords, because they could have potentially brought back the full squad if they wouldn't spot out that early. But Asta finds Invoker though, so unfortunately Warlords misses out. 9th place is the best they could do.
And we've already seen so many insane shots coming in from that gentleman himself. Expand now going to be moving into this area play. ORV just getting a little bit more of a glimpse. Now they do have to push through. They already lost Jazzy from the get-go, and this is not looking all too good. He's just storming right in, but the rest of RV, they should be ready for a push of their own. Praise now ready with the shotguns.
Yep, they're already pushing it way in, putting up so many glue walls there, trying to stop them in their tracks, but at the same time, no escape RV. They need the kill points. That's why they're being so aggressive right now. Look at the overhead shot. The glue wall busters are coming out, but just outside the little area of effect there for no escape RV, who can still use the building there, but Xiang gets caught out. And ORV does eliminate completely. Yazzie gets caught on the outside as well. They try to third party this fight, but then Jens, last member standing though, and he's facing off a gang of 3.
And this is not going to be a fair fight anyways. Jans, the last hope for the rest of ORV. He managed to basically clutch out against some of all these players, but this is not going to be enough. Asta, the man, the myth, the legend, he's about to do it.
Yeah, maybe just do it. He's gonna hide in the igloo, comes out the outside, can't find Jens, who just given him the slip. Now he's gonna try to get around the building, but no, he's gonna run straight into Dino, who keeps him locked up there. Nice with the glue wall. Dino now fighting for his life though, as he does come around trying to find Jens. Jens gets him down, caught out there inside the middle of the glue wall, and ORV X-Men loses out. 7th place is the best they could do.
And let's look at this staggering amount of points that NC has accumulated for the past 2 rounds, this time with 7 points to kick things off here in Alpine. And I think there's going to be a lot more blood to be splattered here, not by Bullyheads, or by the south side of Sunside. I know it gets a little confusing, but we'll elaborate later on. Wusi finds the one player outside RSX. Definitely not so happy about being in that position. And K9 seemingly doing much better than before.
Yeah, K9, Superman, going around. Wusi currently in the vehicle with Marky here, taking them for a ride around the edge of the safe zone. Bullyheads still in play, Freedom Rumble as well. Bullyheads needs to get some additional points, because remember, they need to be able to get 113 by the end of this, so that they will secure themselves the 12th place spot. And that's the goal. That they don't necessarily need to fight it out in the final circle. They just need to gain as many kill points as they can. Asta, in the meantime, regrouping with the rest of the squad. They're already inside the safe zone. K9 Esports already making their way to base camp, but held off a little bit because they don't want to wander in without enough information, because RSX is trying, or rather, the one member of the most dangerous member, I should say, of RSX, Juanito, has a sniper rifle and he's keeping them gate kept at this point. Well, Chelsea right now looks like he's in a bit of a tight spot though, because Bloody Heads is overrunning his position, and so is FRU's Shamiz is also coming in as well. NC spotted Expanse on the opposite end of their end as Expanse just made their way into the safe zone now, and NC is in a perfect position to try to gatekeep them, while K9 and Bloody Heads looks like they're going to be up against each other instead here.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit of a very tricky situation for the rest of RSX. They're being so widespread apart, like there is not going to be any form of backup for one another. Well, for the Rumble, they brought in the monster truck. Woo! Everybody hide because they're about to crash right in.
Oh my goodness, big wheels coming in there. Dennis does get the knockdown into Wusi though. Marky tries to fight around the outside, puts on the glue wall in front of the time turner, now fights around inside, but unfortunately gets caught out in the middle there by Kai. Necro in the meantime gets a good toss on the Shamiz, so he does hold up a little bit, but K9 now it's down to Superman and Necro. They are able to stabilize things somewhat, where Superman tries to open up a path there with his side. He needs to try to take down another member of Blade Heads, but no, Feed and Rumble! Morgana with a triple kill using the grenade launcher. Oh my god!
He saw an opportunity and he took it, but the rest of PH, can they find a few members on the side of K9? They do get one more in the back, and there's no left. K9 Esports, despite the great performance, Bloody Heads have overwhelmed 7 pointers in the back. They should be securing themselves into the finals.
Yep, I think that's it. That's exactly what they needed to do. Anything to get from this point on is going to be a bonus. Too Fast continuing to use the grenade launcher as well, as he's still stuck in the fight right now with NC. Expand still has four members, but they're still locked up inside the house. And oh, that's a good catch there onto Too Fast. Now Expand needs to try to stabilize the situation, putting up lots of glue walls in the way as NC continues to surround them inside the building. The safe zone unfortunately comes just outside of this fighting area, so NC needs to try to finish this off. Expanse needs to get himself out of this quadrant right now as the Axel continues to try to hold the line. Oh, the glue wall not really giving a lot of cover down by the top side. He does take out Yasid though, so at least there's a bit of a reprieve, but watch out for the side. Dino comes in, doesn't get the knockdown to Axel. Axel down to a sliver of health, still alive.
How is he alive is the question though. Dino now gets right in. Final blow to the face, and Expand does it again. Now making their way into a top 3 finish, and that's going to be 6 points being backed right in. And RSX, take a look, they're still surviving out of all the teams.
I tell you what though, this could be a chance for Bloody Heads to actually get a booyah right here, because the only other team that's still in full strength is Expand. A little bit far out at the moment, but you already see another member of Bloody Heads. Oh, he's sending a UAV straight their way. He knew he will find out exactly where the position is. So if they're able to quickly dispatch RSX, it will be a team versus team here. Bloody Heads versus Expand. Now X-Roy is going to be moving out. That's going to expose them to a little bit here, and definitely Morgana has already spotted them, sends a trouble their way, lets them know that they're going to be caught out here as they make their way to the circle. Now they're getting forced to turn around, but Morgana, no, his health is a bit too low. Cobra forces the issue, takes him down, and that's going to be him taken out. The rest of Bloody Heads, where are they? The RSX are going to be able to send in another member, so now they're back up the tree. So now Bloody Heads looks like they were having an opportunity, but they might be dropping too fast, because Too Fast, Too Furious, takes down Fierce2 and himself.
My goodness, that's something that's a little bit more of a rowdy attempt, but he could have basically gotten a lot more. Now Bloody Heads, they're being overwhelmed with numbers now, swarming their way, but their tags are coming from the back. It's coming from Axel himself.
Yep, Expanse now making their way to the circle, and oh boy, Jaws runs away into the tent now. Cobra has a shotgun, almost misses a shot there. Jaws comes out just in time, but no, it's coming into the time turner, still dancing around. Jaws gets caught out, Bloody Heads taken out in 3rd place. Juanito, double shot there with the grenade. He will be able to keep things up here. RSX now having an opportunity to get a booyah. Expanse already has one, but they still want to get another one.
He's going for the revive though too fast. He's going to save his teammates. Axel's going to be able to bring them all back up online. So it's not over just about yet. RSX Tree members, they're ready to roll, but they've already lost Chelsea. They're running right in, but Juanito's going to be the last one standing.
Yep, to Expanse having really good positioning here in this fight right now. Cobra and the Axel keeping distance, and again the last shot. RSX is taken out, and Expanse gets yet another Booyah, the last one for the day.
Back-to-back wins coming in from the squad that has been able to do so much, and oh my word, Expand finds them again. Though NC had those great runs, this time they couldn't do much inside of this matchup. And this final game had so much going on from start all the way to finish, and that's how all these Free Fire matches should always go.
Oh man, Expand yet again. Proving the point that they're still the team to beat in this competition. One of the top 3 teams in the recent MCP, and still continuing to be one of the top teams in the Snapdragon Pro Series. And I gotta admit though, I was kind of hoping to see Bloody Heads actually get the Booyah, because I actually wanted them to get an interview at the end, because I wanted to listen here to them, because they've already done enough. I think they've done enough to get themselves to that 12th slot, so they will be true to the regionals here. But man, what a way to close the day though, if they got the Booyah in the last match for the day.
They kind of botched it with the moment that they were also pushing outwards, but then again, like, it was such an amazing game that was played out not only by Bloody Heads and also Expand overall. Like, we see teams like RSX step up to the plate. We have even K9 themselves, who was farming those numbers on the southern end, and we got NC getting overwhelmed altogether. That's something that we always hear them getting themselves into. But this fight itself, we did not expect that Dino would be able to basically pull these kind of amazing runs.
I didn't expect that. Axel literally no-scoped him with the Baron. I didn't catch that all during the fight just now. Oh my god. That just made it even more incredible that Expand actually made that work for themselves. But it is a final one here. I mean, watch out for Too Fast. He had the grenade launcher, and I think he kind of like took him. Oh no, that was actually a fight from earlier here. But nevertheless, the last shot there on the RSX allowed Expand to pick up the Booyah. And with that said and done, Expand still Expand puts up a good performance here. 12 plays from toys, 12 kills, a total of 24. Head and shoulders above everyone else here in this final map.
Exactly that, and of course NC with 16 and Bloody Heads have moved up the charts with 15 for themselves. RSX KTP with a number of 13, but we also take a look at No Escape RV. 8 points. Is that about enough to cut into the top 12? We shall find out later on. So I think, like, overall, it's just a spectacular game being played out by majority of them, other than, of course, Tyrants as well as Paragon Spartans to soak in this loss of points, not gaining anything at all. I think they've already done a lot of work throughout the past couple of weeks, and it's been respectable. But Expand, they just look unstoppable.
I know, right? I mean, again, we always focus. We always put a little bit more focus on the group A teams there, but you know, the Expand was also that dark horse in the competition that you definitely cannot afford to ignore. And you know, in this performance here, this proves a point that they're still a team to beat. You know, in this competition. Just sadly that you know they haven't been able to compete that much against the top teams, pretty much due to the way the groupings have been arranged here. But you know, putting out performances like these out of the hat just goes to show that Expand is still a formidable squad here. You cannot really brush them aside, because suddenly they'll just come back, and they come back so hard.
Yeah, this team is pretty much akin to players from AKO, the way that they have that sort of flair in terms of the way that they close out fights, and most of the time they always have multiple players still surviving to the very end, and they've been able to manage most of their resources very well to basically lead the way into the final few battles. So we definitely do hope to see a lot more coming out of not only Expand, but many of all these other names that have been able to really put those big points on that board. And now I'm just looking who's the lucky ones who have managed to cut into the top 12.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing in the table right now, right? And, for hard to get, I just feel so bad for them because I actually completely forgot that actually in Group C, not in Group B or D, so that they really didn't have any shot actually of getting to the top 12. So it's kind of sad for them really because they were just on that verge of just getting there, but just missing out by those few points must really be tough, must be a tough pill to swallow. But I mean, that's the way these kind of competitions go, right? I mean, despite if you don't make it even by like 1 point or 20 points, you still don't make it to the objective. So maybe there's going to be a time, for these squads to kind of reflect and see what exactly went wrong for them in this competition. Because we're talking about the best of best in the MCP region, which means that this is a test bed, to see where these squads stack up. And if teams are hard to get, No Escape RV, if they make it or don't make it, this is a perfect opportunity for them to analyze exactly why that's the case.
Exactly, and every single team were given the same amount of opportunity, the same amount of games to be played out, where if you don't really utilize all these rounds that you do have and you don't basically consistently look for opportunities for your own, I think there's just so much more work that needs to be put into use for more upcoming tournaments ahead. But to most of the teams that may have actually tried and not find successes, we definitely hope for the best for your next run. Maybe in the upcoming Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire once again.
A little bit teaser maybe for next season, isn't it? But, nevertheless, for these Free Fire teams, I just got to say, after having been with them on this journey, this group stage, I'm just so impressed by the level of skill and dedication some of these teams are showing here. I mean, again, when you compare Free Fire to other kind of games like other kind of battle royale games, Free Fire tends to be one of those that is quite hard actually for most teams to get into because the style of play is very different. And ladies and gentlemen, the qualified teams going into the regionals here. Let's go ahead and read it out. Auto knockout, first one in. We knew that was going to be for sure. AV Radicals makes it as well. Axis Esports, Bloody Heads, they made it into the top 12 here, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Expand also makes it in. Farong as well. Geek Fam and No Escape RV. Yep, the 8 points they got in the last match, enough to get themselves into the top 12. And
not only that, quick reactions, they got it as well. That's great work coming out of the team. And I think this is the overall standings. And Geek Fam, as well as Revenge, they must be gasping for air watching that final match because even Pando EWG, sure, they were really playing. It was hard to get. It was also in some of these rounds. But they have gotten themselves that magical number 118 to be safe. And these are your top 12 teams.
Yeah, and I just feel so bad for Rebellion Squad X KTP because, RSX has been one of those squads that had also, moments of brilliance in this competition. Same like Ilustrados, same like Jukes, but sometimes, you need more than those standout performances to really bring it all together. And, they had so much placement points, 69, but they lost out so many kills. They're only being able to net 35. So, and then you look at the other page, conversely, look at that vast majority. I can count only one, No Escape RV, as well as Revenge. No Escape RV and Revenge. They're the only two who have more placement points. Sorry. Not quite there, but then No Escape RV had more placement points compared to kill points, and they're the only squad that actually made it into that first page. So it just goes to show, in Free Fire, you need to have kill points. You need to prioritize your tactics and your strategy to getting those kill points, and I think that's also key to why Auto Knockout was so dominant in the competition, because the way the groups were laid out, most of the hard, heavy-hitting teams were all mostly stacked in Group A. So when Auto Knockout was going up against the groups of B and D, they realized that, we're actually a lot more skilled in these guys in taking close quarter fights. Let's just farm them. Let's just take as many kill points as we can, and look at where they got them. 200 total points.
200 total points, and definitely these numbers are just very telling of what this team could basically offer in a global stage. And when you look back into No Escape, I'm glad that you pointed out that a team that's coming in from the second pager actually has so much placement points to also match up against some of the top dogs out there. You know what? For now, let's also celebrate the victory of our final Booyah by having this interview.
Untuk berjaya untuk melayakkan diri pergi ke top 12 Jadi saya nak bertanya, adakah Too Fast yakin Expand mampu untuk pergi kepada top 3 pula untuk peringkat seterusnya?
Yakin. Kerana kami dah cuba berbagai time liga ni, kami dah cuba berbagai rotasi gameplay dan jadi insyaAllah final korang akan pergi top 3.
Baik, jadi mungkinlah selain daripada pasukan Expand sendiri, boleh tak Too Fast katakan ataupun namakan 3 pasukan yang akan pergi mewakili untuk region kita?
AV,
Axis. Oh.
Axis.
Oh, bukan auto knockout.
Dan auto knockout.
Mana boleh? Expand tak mana?
Lupa lah.
Lupa. Okay, lagi sekali. Top 3.
Sekali.
Okay.
Top 3 saya rasa Expand. Lepas tu
Axis.
auto knockout.
Oh, auto knockout. Jadi AV tak lepas lah.
AV kena tabrak pun barang.
Oh. Okay, soalan kepada Cobra. Cobra boleh dikatakan salah seorang pemain veteran, dah lama dekat sini. Jadi Cobra, bagaimana dengan nafas baru dengan pasukan Expand? Apa beza pasukan yang sekarang ni dengan yang sebelum ni?
Beza dari segi rotation dan rotation dengan chemistry lah.
Faham?
Alright. So, yang terakhir. So, apakah ucapan Expand kepada peminat-peminat di luar sana untuk menyokong korang esok untuk Grand Final?
Terima kasih untuk penyokong Expand. Terima kasih untuk korang punya manager. Terima kasih untuk mak ayah kita orang yang selalu doakan kita orang. InsyaAllah esok kami akan buktikan yang terbaik untuk korang semua.
Jangan marah. Sabar, jangan marah. Sabar. Okey, baiklah, terima kasih Cobra dan juga Too Fast, sehingga kita bertemu lagi dan seperti biasa, semoga berjaya untuk hari esok.
I just love how spicy that was. Just bring the shade onto AV
Shots
Radicals.
fired, man.
I know, right?
Well, I gotta say, like, this is what the competition has come to, where, you know, only the top 3 teams will basically make it to, you know, the global stages overall, and it has to start somewhere, and I just love banters to kick things off here. And of course, let's also take a glimpse at, you know, the overall runs. And tomorrow we're going to be playing not only in the rotation of Purgatory as well as Alpine for today. We'll have all maps to be played out, and we'll have double Kalahari and double Bermuda.
Yeah, it is very different than the group stage, because remember, during the group stages, most of these groups only will play on 2 maps during their sessions. Now we're going to that regional finals here. That means all the maps will be played, starting off mostly with the Bermuda and Kalahari. So definitely that's going to be one highlight to watch out for here in tomorrow's matches here. But I'm going to be especially curious to see how teams stack up when they get to that Purgatory versus Alpine, Purgatory and Alpine maps there, because it seems like teams that do well in those seem to have the better shot, I think, of getting to that top 3. So, I mean, that's going to be the storyline as it unfolds here. But I digress though. We have to give a huge thank you to the people that made this all possible. Starting off with our main sponsor, Snapdragon Elite Gaming, for when winning matters, and winning mattered a lot for all of these boys here in these group stages, I have to say. Shout out as well to Monster Energy for unleashing the beast together with us in the Snapdragon Pro Series. Check them out over at monsterenergy.com/gaming. And finally, when you're running low on credits and you're thinking, where should I reload? Go to www.kachishop.com/my, because they not only offer you great deals on those reloads, they offer you so many good discounts. You get way more bang for your buck. And now that we're coming to our closing for the day right now, any last words? Oh, not yet. Okay, so well, we're coming to a close though. Any kind of thoughts you'd like to share, you know, about the journey so far?
Well, the journey definitely has been quite arduous for some of these teams out there, and they definitely put their level best. And for those who may have bowed out for the top teams that did not make the cut, we definitely do wish them the very best in any sort of future tournaments to come. And tomorrow, it's going to be a very exciting, long day, because they're not going to be playing 4 maps for each respective team. 6 maps back-to-back. I hope they are ready. I hope they stock up some cans of Monster Energy, because they're definitely going to
You're gonna need all the energy, and so do we. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed all of the action here in this Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire edition. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Contra. We've been your commentators all throughout this group stage. We'll see you guys tomorrow when we bring you guys open finals. So until then, see you, good night, and good luck.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Player on top, know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fire through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional, working devotion. We put in this time. Look, you won't stop my stride.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast, I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You want to compete, well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my work. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.